What is up, guys? My name is Mr. Deity, and I will be making a new player guide for Epic 7's 6th anniversary. The game has changed a ton over the past few years, and this event makes getting into the game extremely easy or getting back into the game. So whether you're an old player that tried in the past and maybe got stuck or there's things you didn't like about it, a lot of that stuff has been fixed. If you're a new player getting into the game, now is the best time we may ever have to get into the game. This event is unbelievable for an anniversary event for a game that's still alive. Very, very awesome. So the goal of this guide is to get you fully set up on PvE and get you into PvP as quickly as possible so you can experience everything Epic 7 has to offer and make a decision whether you want to actually play the game long term. I don't want to waste your time min-maxing, trying to take advantage of every single stamina. We're going to do things a way to make it to where hopefully you enjoy the game as much as possible and then find out if you want to keep playing or not. It's going to be a very long guide series. This first episode's usually an hour long. So bear with me. Every episode past that usually is about 30 minutes, but there's so much stuff to cover. I wanted to make this guide on the first day. I'm sorry those of you guys that have been waiting, but so much has changed with this. When making a guide, I always want to be as precise as possible, making a day-by-day game plan and not second-guess my decisions. So I needed some time to see all the things in the game. Now I'm a few days ahead. I'm doing live stream guide. I'm doing a live stream guide account, so if you ever have questions or anything, you can go to live streams. You can follow the live stream guide account and see everything that I'm doing. So there's a 10-hour video, 6-hour video that you can sit and just have playing in the background while you're playing. And as you get to certain things, hopefully I will be doing it on the screen either at that time or a little bit later because I do have to talk to chat and things like that. But there's multiple resources out there that you can follow along with, but this will be a more concise guide. Now, getting into the game, the first thing you're going to be doing is picking a server. Global server is the most populated server. It's the safest bet you can do. You can pick the other servers if you want, but global is always my recommendation. If you want to pick Asia, usually Asia is pretty populated too. But Europe server, Japan server, those servers have way less players. It's much harder to find guilds. Guilds are super important. We're going to be going over all of that, getting into the guide. So go ahead and pick your server, click into the game. It'll walk you through the cutscenes. And then once you get to the first stage, you will clear that and follow the prompts until you get to stage 4 and get to the summoning portion. So I already have an account made. I've logged in a few days so I can get ahead and get further and make multiple guide episodes in one day, but I have not done anything besides get to the summoning portion. As you see, my account's level 4, and you will be at the same level as me once you clear stage 1-4. I will not be claiming any of these rewards that I get until the day of the guide, so do not feel like I'm going to have stuff that you don't. We will all have the same thing. So getting into the game, just go ahead, get to stage 1-4, and then once it has you get to where you need to do a summon, stop, and then we'll be at that part of the video. So I'll cut when we're there. Okay, so once you are to this stage where you need to summon, you've beaten stage 1-4, you just click through. There's no way you can fail any of that stuff, but it'll get you to a point where you need to click on summon. Go ahead and click on summon, and you will have some free summons. I have a bunch of free summons. You're going to get all these too just later in the day, but go ahead, get into it, and then you're going to do your first summon, okay? Do your first summon, and then you should have 11 summons total. So any new player, you're going to have 11 summons you could do right away. Your first summon is always a 3-star. And once you do that summon, click out of it. You'll skip it. You can do your 10 summon. I do have some tier list up for more recent tier lists I uploaded a few days ago. If you got any cool character, you can check that tier list, see if they're on there. If they're not on there, the thing is Epic 7 buffs characters all the time. So that character may be really good in the future. Don't get too discouraged. Even if you pull a Moonlight 5, Moonlight 5s are the super rare characters in the game. They are always getting buffed. We actually had a character that for 4 years was one of the weakest characters ever. They buffed him. He became the strongest character as Blood Moon Haste. He is unbelievably strong now. So just if you get anything, be happy you got them, because if you continue playing the game, maybe in 6 months from now, that's going to be the top character for PvP. So do your summon, then we'll go to Selective Summon. And Selective Summon is not as important as a lot of people make it out to be. You can start with anything, but I'm going to give you a easy way to go through the game and show you what I always do, and then you can make a decision, but I'll give you a few choices. So do your summon, and then now that we're to Selective Summon, I'm going to go ahead and hit Summon Preview. With Summon Preview, the way Selective Summon works is you're going to be getting 1 5-star hero or artifact, 2 4-star heroes, and 2 4-star artifacts. The only thing that matters is going to be the hero, and the hero, there are 3 choices. It's going to be Asaria, Destina, or Ravi. The way I'm going to be structuring this guide is we are taking Destina from this, and then we are going to be story summoning on Asaria later. And then we're probably going to end up using one of our tickets to get Ravi, because she will be max enhanced. Everything I just said, you might not know what I'm saying. It'll make sense later. But If you've heard Asaria is good, we're still going to be getting Asaria. We're summoning on her banner. We're going to be using our story summon on her banner to get her artifact. If you take Asaria from here, you will not be able to get her artifact. If depending on what day you're starting, there's currently an Asaria banner up, but if you summon on that banner, it goes away in a day. If we do story summon, it gives you 7 days, so it takes the stress away of trying to rush to get it. So you see this artifact, Song of Stars. This is going to be a very good PvE artifact. And we're not taking it from this, we're taking Destina from this, but that is why we're summoning on Asaria banner after. And we need to summon on a banner to try to get some of the 3 stars for our account so we can get into Wyvern. That is the whole idea of summoning. You can play without summoning. I'm going to give you a bunch of options as ways you can do things. But the 5-star character we're going to be looking for is Destina in this, if you're going to be following along with this guide series. The second thing is, if you want to keep re-rolling, there are going to be some 4-star artifacts that are good, and there's going to be a 4-star character that I would say if you get, it's going to open up a couple more opportunities for you for a few days. You don't need to get him though. The character is called Crozet. I will show a picture of him here in a second. I'm going to do some re-rolls until I get everything. I'll have to pause the video. But Crozet is very good in terms of artifacts. The artifacts to look out for are Aureus, Taghel's Ancient Book, Wondrous Potion Vial, and Adamant Shield. Adamant Shield not so much, but it's mainly Aureus, Taghel's Ancient Book, and then the other artifact I mentioned. But okay, I'm going to go ahead and do some summons, and I will show whenever you're doing summons, you can do infinite of these. Just be aware you can do infinite of these. You will not be able to get a 5-star character. This is Asaria. This is what we will be story summoning on later. She's a very good PvE unit, but we were trying to get a Soul Weaver to go through the game with because we cannot get Tamarin until, usually most people won't get Tamarin until day 3 or 4, maybe even 5. Which is kind of rough because you want to progress as fast as possible. So we're going to take a very strong Soul Weaver off the start so that once we get Tamarin, we'll swap her in, but we can clear everything we need to with Destina up till then. So whenever you are doing this, though, you can only get 1 5-star. You cannot get 2 5-stars. It's always locked, so there's Destina. And here are 2 Adamant Shields. This is a decent night artifact. This is the 4th one I mentioned, but there are better ones that you can get. The best artifact for knights you can get for this is Aureus, but this would be good enough. You could just go ahead and take this. I will try to get a picture of Crozet, and I'll try to show the other artifacts as well, but it is always going to be 1 5-star, either hero or artifact. You cannot get a 5-star hero and artifact, or 2 5-stars in any way. It's always going to be 2 4-star artifacts. As you see, I got 2, and then 2 4-star heroes, which is Dominion and Surin, which the 4-star heroes really don't matter for this. So give me a second. I will try to get another thing. If you want to keep going, but you have a summon that looks good, you can click record summon results. Once you click record summon results, you can summon again, and it will save that one that you can go back and take it. So here we have this. And now I can click record summon results, and then you can save over your other summon. So you keep doing this until you get the perfect summon. If you want, that's up to you. You don't need to. It's a big time commitment sometimes. It took me 100 summons just to get 1 Destina on the guide account. We're going to try to avoid that for this. I'm not going to take too long, but let me pause. Let me try to get a couple of the other facts up that I could show, and then I'll go ahead and we'll get moving on the progression of the guide. Okay, so I did a few more summons. I did end up getting Destina and Crozet, and I got the artifact Aureus. Like I said, the other artifacts you're going to be watching for are Taghel's Ancient Book and Wondrous Potion Vial. One is for mages, one is for Soul Weavers. You can see right here what they're for. This is a night artifact, this is a night artifact, but we did get Aureus. So Aureus is one of the best tank artifacts in the game because it keeps your team alive. Very good for both PvP and PvE going through the beginning of the game. But we did get Destina and we got a Crozet. So now I'm going to go ahead and hit confirm, and it's going to give you the option when you go to confirm whether you want to take whatever you have recorded or the current summon that you've done. You do not need to get Crozet. I will show you ways to do things without him. I'm just going to potentially be using him to get through some content a little bit faster and more efficiently. Some people may disagree that Crozet won't be efficient, but the reasoning for that, as we get later, is going to be he will be our Wyvern front tank, and then he can be our expedition front tank for 2 different expeditions. So it makes it to where you have to build less characters. Any 4-star knight will work. There's also Rose. Any 5-star knight will work. If you can get Brieg, he's the best in slot. That's the character we're going to be aiming for. But all of that will make sense later, but this is the reason we're taking him, because he can be a placeholder character until we get a better character and be used in the most amount of content versus using a different character for it. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, and now let's go ahead and move into the next portion of the guide. With the event that's going on right now, we have the Epic Dash event. So with this Epic Dash event, we're going to be getting a bunch of buffs. Your account's going to level up faster because you get 30% battle EXP and account EXP. So with the account EXP, This changes the guide tremendously from old guides because before you beat the first chapter, your count will be higher level, meaning you'll have more things unlocked before you even get through the first chapter of the game, which if you're following the old guide, it's going to just change the steps that we do a tiny bit. If you are ever ahead of me, like I said, I have those live streams, and you can maybe look into the other guides and try to use your brain as to what I do and what you can do instead with all these extra things that we have. But if you're ever curious on things, just wait and I will get caught up with everything. So our first goal of playing in the game is going to be grab some of these, and we are going to be trying to get the first gear set here. This is going to be the first goal that we do. If you look here, we have weekly missions. So with finishing these, you don't really need to pay attention to what they are at first. What you need to do is come over here, and this is the Adventures Path mission panel. Go to the Adventures Path mission panel, and then we are going to be finishing these missions. If you look here, my next mission is Open Gold Chest and Adventure. What I'm going to do, since most of you will hopefully have already done that, there's a guaranteed chest on the first episode chapter that you do. I did not grab that. So hopefully you guys have already done that, but just go look at what that has to do, or what it says to do it, and keep claiming the rewards. And our next goal is to get to chapter 10. Once you get to chapter 1-7, you will have the option to click up the upper right hand corner, and you will be able to put the game on 2x speed and auto battle. Once you get to 2x speed and auto battle, it's going to make everything way faster. So you see my characters are very slow. At that stage, you can click this button here, and then you can battle twice as fast, and you click the auto button, and you don't have to click abilities for a while. Okay, the game will mostly auto through story as long as we set our teams up right, and I'll show you how to do that. You do not need a manual battle. You will need a manual battle for some of the harder content later, and it is fun to do so, but going through the story, it's a slog, it's a grind. We want to get that unlocked right away. So I'll come back whenever we get further into this. If I come up with anything that I think we need to talk about, we need to talk to her, and then we go forward. But I'll come back in just a second and go over what the next steps will be. Okay, once you've cleared stage 1-7, some of you may have already just grinded all the way to 1-10, but real quick, if you cleared 1-7, what we're going to do is go in and start grabbing some of this. So as you see, our next challenge is to enhance equipment to +3. So we're going to go in and we're going to upgrade one of the pieces of gear. It doesn't really matter what you do for this at the beginning. So we're going to upgrade this to +3, and then it'll finish the challenge. We'll come back out. Now we need to clear stage 1-10 adventure. For our first team, just go ahead and the game gives you Mercedes after you clear the stage I was talking about. And then we have our Destina that we're going to go ahead and put on team, and we're going to use Raz. If you want to switch up your teams, you can. But if you start having trouble, there's a reason I'm using all these characters. So as you see me build teams, there's reasoning behind why I'm doing all of it, so you can follow along. If you want to get spicy and try to do things your way, go ahead, but don't ask why it's not working. If things stop working, always revert back and just use the same team. A general good team building strategy is a tank, a soul weaver, and 2 damage dealers, or a tank or a soul weaver, a support, and 2 healers. So soul weavers can be used as tanks in this game because they have high HP for most content. And those are the 2 general team compositions for clearing story. Tank, Soul Weaver, 2 damage, or Soul Weaver as your front tank, a support character, and then 2 damage dealers. That's the general way to go through story. If you deviate from that, so like if you're asking a normal question I see is like, say somebody re-rolled and got Wukong. Okay, so that's a damage character that's good for PvE later, and they ask, can I change Raz for Wukong? I had that question 6 times. Wukong is not a tank, he is a damage dealer. So putting him in, you're going to have no tank, meaning that you need to put your Soul Weaver up front, and technically you can, but try to always make sure you have a tank or a Soul Weaver to tank the damage. Whoever's in the front is more likely to get attacked more often. Team composition does matter, team placement does matter. We'll go over all that more, but that's the general building strategy. So now go ahead and go clear 1-10, and we'll start getting everything else situated here. Okay, so once you have cleared stage 1-10, you will be to this point, and we're going to do a couple things real quick. Whenever you beat this stage, you're going to be unlocking free Spiriteria. So we're going to go ahead and go in and beat it. We haven't geared any characters, we haven't done anything yet. You can beat all this without touching any of that kind of thing. So we're going to go over that, but I don't want to cover it now, then cover it again in a second when we're going to move all the gear anyway. But let's go ahead and go through the stage. Again, if you look up at the top right hand corner, you have the auto button, you have the double speed. Okay, make sure to click the double speed button. A lot of people don't know this is in the game. It's something newer. I think they added it about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. you want double speed. It makes you, I mean, you go through the game twice as fast, so there's no reason. And when you're farming, you farm at double speed, so you're able to burn your stamina way faster now in Epic 7. So maybe you've tried the game in the past, and you're like, dang, this is slow, like if you played it 2-3 years ago. Made some very, very good changes. That's one of them. Make sure you're clicking the double speed option. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and beat this stage, and then allow us to grab Arteria, which gives us a whole new set of missions. And I'll show you everything you need to grab from here, and then we will be pushing to the end of Chapter 2. Pushing to the end of Chapter 2 allows us to start awakening our characters, and that opens up some new missions. And for Tieria are pretty much... the game gives you a character, which I'll show in a second, that just clears the entire first story, no problems, and is very, very nice. They've made Epic 7 so easy to get into, it's unbelievable. So now let's go ahead and go to the lobby. The reason this character is so good... Okay, well... that's my 3rd day login. Once you do this, you're going to have all this pop up. So this is going to be the banners. Depending on when you start, if Frida's available, we only have a day left. I can tell you right now, trying to summon on her is not... She's a really good character. She won't come back for a year. But if you don't get her, it's not a big deal. And I wouldn't summon on any of the character. I wouldn't summon on any banner right now that is going away in a day. Because the problem is you may not get the character. Epic 7 has a pity system to where you need to do 605 bookmarks of summons or 120 summons to guarantee get the character. Getting that many summons, if you're starting right when I upload this guide, you have a day, you're not going to be able to get that. Our goal with the guide is to not spend any Sky Stones going through at the beginning. We're going to start spending as few as possible at least, so then that way you guys have all of the resources on your account to go ahead and make decisions later. I think you will be fine if you skip this character. She is really strong though. But it is what it is. If you're starting on Thursday, after her banner's gone, you don't have to worry about it. The banners that are coming up next are not worth summoning on, so just ignore them. If you're starting right when this banner's still up, I know it sucks, but just ignore it. And also don't summon on Assyria. We're going to be summoning on her for our first story summon. Now, that you've gotten to this point, we need to go in, claim all this. And then the next mission is select a Moonlight Blessing hero. It's our first thing we're going to do. Epic 7 has had a bunch of buffs and, or not nerfs, but a bunch of different balance patches with buffs. Arbiter Villager just got something called an exclusive equipment, and so does Spectre Tibria. These are the number 1 and number 2 choice always. So Arbiter Villager right now is going to be the best pick if you're getting into PvP, and he is also very good for farming. Spectre Tibria is known as the queen of PvE. This is a character we always take. She is not as strong in PvP right now. One of the main selling points to her in the past was she was amazing in both types of content. They both got exclusive equipments. Exclusive equipment is additional thing you put on them that gives them extra stats and abilities. And if you're a new player, you're not going to be able to get those unless something changes and they give us free currency, which I don't think is going to happen. You won't be able to get either character's exclusive equipment for a month and a half. So Spectre Tenebria will get you through all the PvE. She is going to be who we are taking. And we're not going to be able to get her exclusive equipment, but it's okay. You don't need it for getting through PvE. And whenever we get to about a month and a half in, we'll get it. She may be okay in PvP now. Her exclusive equipment just came out when this patch happened. Now, Arbiter Villager, those of you that are taking Arbiter Villager because you hear he's better in PvP than Spectre Tenebria, you can pick either one. But if you're following along exactly as I do, it's going to be Spectre. But Arbiter Villager, again, we're not going to be able to get those exclusive equipments for probably at least a month to 2 months because a new player is not going to be able to score high in the mode needed to get the currency. Meaning that if you're taking Arbiter Villager for PvP, you're not going to actually see a full power Arbiter Villager, what's making him so strong right now, until a while down the road. So keep that in mind. Those of you that are taking Arbiter Villager thinking, oh, he's going to be insane. He's still good, but his exclusive equipment makes him god tier, whereas Spectre Tibria is just already going to be good and used to clear a lot of things that Arby could potentially clear, but Spec Tenny just makes our life easier. Again, I want the game to be enjoyable. I want it to be feeling easy and that you're powerful the whole time. So we're taking Spectre Tenebria for the guide. You can make your decisions. I'm going to give options on multiple things. But again, if you take RB and you start struggling in certain things, I'm sorry, I won't have a guide up for going through with RB. But it shouldn't really matter, okay? Don't stress about that too much. And also, whenever you take this character, you have the ability to switch. So maybe those of you have started Epic 7 in the past and have a different character on here, and that's not RB, or it's one of the other ones. Those other 4 characters I even talk about, because none of them are very good right now. I don't see them being good. Again, nothing compared to these 2 characters. So If you did take one of the other ones, you can always go up to upper right hand corner, click the reset Moonlight Blessing, and it'll allow you to change the character one time. You get one switch, that's all you get. So we get a bunch of summons right now too, so we will not be taking our ML5 from that very quickly. We're going to wait to fully claim it a long time just in case we get them. That way we can switch it and grab somebody else. Keep that in mind. Later in the guide, I'll go over that again. But that is going to be our main character. Second, we're going to go ahead and go over to Hero down at the bottom where my face cam is. And then we're going to go to Recruit. We're going to go to Connections. Now, in this, we need to clear stage 2-2 and we get Free Spirit Tiara. This character comes with full skill ups. She's one of the greatest things added to the game for new players. You get really good farming speed out of her, allowing you to progress very quickly. So this is going to be the next thing we unlock. You can go ahead and add Spectre Chamber to your team. The team that we're going to be beating the game almost everything with for the first couple days is going to be Raz, Destina, Spectre Chamber, and then Free Spirit Tier will go in the back. So let me go ahead and go beat stage 2-2 and show you the next quests that pop up. Okay, we have beaten stage 2-2, and now it's telling us to go and grab Free Spirit Tier. So we're going to go ahead. I'm just going to skip that, but you can follow the prompts if you want. Now we're going to go in here and let's get our Free Spirit Tier. You click that and then click Connection Complete, and now you get the character. There are going to be multiple characters in this connection section that are very good. This is Tamarin. This is going to be our PvE Soul Weaver that we'll trade out for Destina later, and then Destina will be used for PvP. The thing with Destina is she's the only red, green, blue non-Moonlight 5 character that has a revive mechanic. She revives a dead ally in the game that I know of right now. There are some other ones that give revive buff, which is nowhere near as good, but Destina will be nice to have. It'll allow you different kinds of teams that you can build later. I always use her in my guides. So now that you've unlocked her, let's go ahead and throw her on our team. Just first thing that we do, if we can find her. I do have, like I said, this account's logged in a few days, so I do have a couple extra things. You will have all of this, so don't worry. You'll have a bunch of stacked up 3 stars and everything because you will have the summons. I'm trying not to utilize anything that I got too early, obviously. If you're following through the guide, though, and you see all these characters, because I logged in an extra day so I can make multiple episodes of the guide at the start or right away, and I didn't want to waste my free summons because then your account will look different than mine in a few days. So going into this, whenever you get Free Spirit Tier, it's going to unlock a new set of quests. So now you have 2 different types of quests to be doing. We need to be doing this type of quest, and we need to be doing this type of quest. I always go and do Tiara's missions first. So the Tiara reached level 20 with Free Spirit Tier. You click on it, click go, and then it'll show you exactly what to do. Her little icon will be above. Now we'll just go ahead and feed the penguins in. That puts her to level 20. These little missions just teach you the basic things going through the game. So go and keep doing all of this. Now we need to awaken her. The thing with awakening is we're not able to awaken her until we clear the end of chapter 2. So we're already done with that. So the next thing that we have, though, is going to be this mission. We're going to go and enhance an artifact one time. Let's go ahead in and let's enhance an artifact one time. It doesn't matter which artifact you do. If you have a Taga Hells and Aureus, any of the ones I said, you can go ahead and upgrade those. But your first artifact, it's fine. One artifact charm is not going to make or break your account. So Taga Hells would be good to upgrade. Aureus would be good to upgrade. Try not to upgrade any 3 stars except for Daydream Joker. If you have a Daydream Joker, you upgrade that. But your first artifact charm, if you don't know what to do, just slap it on one. You'll be okay. Now, we'll claim that. And the next mission is going to be Explore Labyrinth. And I will go over Labyrinth. Before we get to that, though, go to your Dash Pass. Now we've done a bunch of missions and we can go and see what all we can get from our Dash Pass. We're going to click Receive on any one that has a red dot next to it. You have your dailies and you have your weeklies. This Dash Pass is for players for the next 55 days. You can go in and do these. You need to do the dailies every day and then their weekly missions. As you complete the weekly missions, you don't have to worry about them again, but you want to complete the daily missions from Dash Pass every day. This is where you're going to be getting an unbelievable amount of rewards, including insanely good gear for new players. We're going to be getting 9 character selectors. 6 of them fully boost the character and make them already maxed out. You don't have to put the resource into them. This right here is the craziest thing in any video game I've ever seen, especially a PvP gacha. This is why Epic 7 just always stands on top of all PvP gacha games, because it's so free to play friendly. A lot of the characters you can get from these things are very meta. You can climb very high in the PvP of this game very quickly by just utilizing the free things the game gives you. So now we have claimed everything that we have. We're to rank 8 and we're going to go ahead and claim all of it. So we click, it'll give us all our stuff. We just got 4 pieces of a very good gear. T88 gear is solid. The rolls are a little bit low, but this gear is amazing for new players. Go ahead and grab that, and then we're going to want to finish these other missions, and we're going to go ahead and probably finish a lot of them right now. I'm going to go ahead and receive my extra energy from the dash pass. You get an extra 100 energy every single day you log in, which is up going to be like 5,000 energy total. And now that we're to this portion, let's go ahead and that gear that we just got, we're going to put on our Free Spiriteria. Free Spiriteria is going to be our main story pushing character as well as our farmer as we get further. A fast farming character is super, super important. Now that we go ahead and put the gear on that, we're going to go ahead and put gear on Destina. Any of the HP set gear that you have, you should have 4 pieces already. Go ahead and slap that on her. And then she will, as you get set bonuses, it'll give a percentage boost. I'll go over all gear later. Just follow what I'm doing for now. In terms of artifact, if you have any Soul Weaver artifact for her, it does not matter. Going through the first story, super, super easy. But first thing we're going to do now that we put gear on her is we're going to go ahead and upgrade Free Spiriteria's gear. And we're going to put everything at +6 for now. That's part of the Epic Dash missions. So go ahead, put that in, and then each piece to level 6. We should have enough charms to do so. If you do not, it's fine. Just upgrade 1 or 2 pieces to +6. So let me go ahead and do this. And then we are going to be doing our first Labyrinth run. And these boots are amazing for new player. All of this gear is. So that's 2 different attack rolls. Those are really low rolls, but it's okay. No matter how that gear rolls, you're going to be able to utilize it, and you're going to be very strong, okay? I cannot believe they give that gear for free. Now, let's go ahead back to the Epic Dash Pass, and we finish a few more missions for the weekly, so let's go ahead and receive those. That's going to end up giving us a couple more things. We're going to be getting this ring, and we're going to be getting 20 bookmarks. But again, do not use your bookmarks to summon unless you have 605 bookmarks and are going to be able to pity the character. Our goal is to get 1 more. We need to get 1 more piece of equipment to +6. So that ring we just got, you can click your inventory and go to that ring if you click all. And then if we have the charms to upgrade it, which we do, let's go ahead and put that at +6. And then that'll allow us to grab the last piece of gear from here. Now we can go ahead and click receive, and that boosts us up to where we can get the last piece that we want. If you are not quite having the last piece of gear here, you can look and see what the other missions are. If you look, you check into guild one time, enhance 8 pieces +6. You could go enhance a couple of the other pieces to +6 if needed. Maybe I logged in and got one of the daily things from this on accident on this account. I don't think so. I think everyone should be at the same point. But go ahead and take those 2 pieces of gear you just got, put them on your Free Spiriteria, and now you are going to just obliterate all of the beginning content for the next probably 3 hours. But I'll continue to go through and walk you step by step, but this right here is absolutely amazing. We're just going to leave it all +6 right now. That's all you need. Now, in terms of our Raz and Spectre Saber, we're not putting any gear on them yet because we're going to be getting more gear in just a second. And then I don't want to put gear on and then have to take it off. It's just a pain. But let's go ahead. The next thing about the guide is going to be showing you the basics of Labyrinth. Your goal every day, you have these Labyrinth entries. These refresh 1 time per day. You want to go in and burn these, and no matter what, before reset, make sure you have less than 5 of these. This is going to be one of the main ways you get charms to upgrade your gear. So go in. We're going to go to do stage 1. Just use this team. I don't know what the max efficiency thing for this team is. I think I do. But you just go through, put it on auto. You don't have to talk to him, do you? No. Okay. So our goal is to get as far in this as possible. The way it works is you have morale. So you see I have 46 morale. Every single square you cover or cross over is 1 morale that you utilize. And then you have the ability to camp. Whenever you camp, there are going to be different teams you can use that have different synergy in the camping section, which allows you to get more morale back, making it to where you can farm more squares per stage. But for us, for sake of keeping our mental, we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to use this team for the very beginning, probably for the first at least full day, maybe 2 days, and don't stress too much about trying to min-max. Try to min-max right away. I actually think it'll just overall slow down your progression dramatically. Let's not worry about min-maxing. Now we could do that. We'll go over here, and you want to wait to camp until you get lower on morale. And whenever you're at the beginning stages, as long as you're strong enough, it doesn't even matter as long as you're not -50. As long as you don't go below -50 for the first couple runs, you are good. You will not die. But after you get to -50, no matter what stage of lab you're in at any point in the game, you are for sure dead. And as you get further, honestly, once you get below 30, you're probably dead. And if you look, this tells you the stat difference it does for you. So right now we have a little extra boost, but once you're exhausted, you get minus 90% on your stats. Okay, so this was just teaching you a couple things real quick. I'll explain everything it's going over. Now we're gonna go ahead and go in camp, and in the camp, the things you do for this is going to be Spectre, Tenebria, Joyful Memory. This is, at least I think this is the most efficient. It's got to be close, and then you're gonna do, it's Joyful Memory, and then is there another memory? No, it's Destina's Sad Memory. Joyful and Sad Memory. It's super easy to remember. Joyful and Sad Memory gives you 23. That's good enough, okay? The Joyful and Sad Memory are your 2 to go to. Spectre, Tenebria, and Destina. There might be one that's like 1 or 2 more, but the difference of 1 or 2 is not a big deal. We'll keep going. There's a shop and lab every single day that you'll want to check. I'll come up and make a daily routine that you go through at the start of one of the guide videos. You watch it, and it'll be like 10-minute portion where it'll just go through a checklist of everything when you log into E7 to make sure that you do every single day. And one of them is going to be, dang, there's a lot of fights. I'm not full clearing this. It is random when you go in, whether you're going to be fighting at different squares. Sometimes it'll spawn in less fights throughout the map. Sometimes it spawns in more, but every single time you go into Labyrinth, it is going to, if you do the same Labyrinth, it would be different. But if you try to refresh it, it will be the same until you clear it. So I can't go out of this and go back in and hope that I don't have as many fights. So whenever you get in, there's this Hoochie shop. You will want to go to this every single day. I will show you this later, probably in tomorrow's video. There's a way to go in and do it without spending any of your Labyrinth currency. You just go in, buy the stuff, and then leave. That way you don't waste one of your charm or entry tokens. And anything in here that is a charm you buy, if it's a catalyst, you'll buy, or if it is a bookmark, you can get bookmarks from this as well. It's just 1 bookmark or 5 covenant bookmarks. It's a 1 summon, but they can spawn in there. And if you do not get them throughout the game or in every opportunity, then that's less summons you're going to be able to do. The game does give a ton of free summons. Again, probably the most free-to-play friendly, if not guaranteed the most free-to-play friendly gacha game on the market. So that is all you need to do for this. I'm going to go ahead and cut the video here in a second, but from this portion, just keep clearing until you get down to minus 50. If your team does die every time you enter a Labyrinth, if your team dies 1 time, you get a free reset that doesn't cost anything. So if you do end up going too far and your team dies, there's no stress. You just click revive for free once per entry, and then you just teleport. I'm going to show you how to teleport after this fight, but you will teleport to the exit. Labyrinth is very, very important, and I will explain why at the very, well, actually I won't cut the video. We'll just go ahead and cut it here. So you can continue farming further until you get down to the very bottom, but whenever you're done and out of morale, you need to click the map on the upper left hand corner, and all of these you want to always make sure to exit. If there's any yellow spot, you can teleport to any of them, and it costs 3 morale. And that is a very big tip that I always forget to tell people. But on your first few stages, there's always going to be a thing that has something at the bottom of it. So this says Area 2 Sword Training Ground. If you exit out of any of these other ones that doesn't have this, you will not unlock the next stage. Okay, I bet 60% of Epic 7 players have messed this up when they started the game. So teleport to this, click it, and then you will stop exploring, and it will give you all the rewards. That is how you exit the Labyrinth, is through one of the yellow portals. Once you exit through there, we are going to be getting these ancient coins. Ancient coins are going to be how you get right side gear charms. Right side gear charms are the most gated thing for new players in the game. Without such a heavy gate on right side charms, you would be able to make an unbelievably strong account in a 30-day period. That always ends up being the biggest gatekeeper for any new player. Now, going in, we will go ahead and claim this, and it wants us to spend 40 ancient coins. So to spend 40 ancient coins, all your ancient coins are going to be spent on charms. These are, again, right side charms, ring, and necklaces. Hardest things, biggest gate kept thing for beginning players. And doesn't matter which type you buy at all. They are the same amount of experience. 3 whites equals 1 purple charm, and this goes for all charms. And then 3 purple charms, I think, equals 1 red charm. That is how they do it, but the value is the same. So as you see, this is 40 times 3 is 120. So it doesn't matter what you buy, just buy one of them. Just buy one of each, maybe. Oh, it's only spent 40. So just buy one of them, you're good to go. And go ahead and claim these. The next mission is clear stage 2-4. So what we are, and then it's just clear stages. So the next goal is to clear all of chapter 2. That's what we're going to go do. Once I clear all of chapter 2, I'll be back. Well, I'm sorry. Eventually, this will just be I'll come back and check in on you after every couple chapters you clear. But there are a bunch of things at the very start that I need to cover. So bear with me. I'll let you guys run free in just a minute. You have finished stage 2-10. You are going to be getting back to the main screen. You're going to have a bunch of stuff that you need to click on. First up, we are going to have finish all of Aspiring Adventure, and this is going to give you 10 free summons. So as you saw, I have a bunch of free summons. You're going to be getting all of those too, and your account will catch up in terms of total units that I have. But once you click this, it'll take you back to the lobby, which is where we need to go anyway. I'm going to go ahead and do the summons. This is the little fun part. Hopefully we get something good. I have 32 summons that we're going to rip here. And our first is a dud. Nice. So we got nothing for the first one. I really hope I get ML5. Nothing for the second one. And then for the third one, we are going to get nothing. Okay, last two. Beautiful. We got no 5 stars. Very good. I'm actually glad, so that way none of you guys, if you also get nothing, we're in the same boat. Now that you've done a ton of summons, your inventory is overstacked, correct? Always the case. Now, once your inventory is overstacked, the first thing I want you to do is go in and upgrade your unit pool to 100. So it's going to cost 200 Skystones. You're going to have to do this at some point anyway. Just go ahead and rip it right at the beginning. And I'm going to teach you how to manage your inventory. You're going to click name, and you're going to sort by your characters. If you look here, you're going to have all your characters in line, and any duplicate characters will be shown next to each other. Also, click Hero Transmission before you do this, and then click Select 2 stars. It will get rid of all the 2 stars. This is what you do with all your 2 stars in the game, is sell them. When you sell them, you're going to be getting Stigma, which will allow you to make your character stronger later, and you get some gold. So all your 2 stars will always be thrown away like that. Now, you need to lock one of every character, even if the character is bad, okay? You want one of every character no matter what. You never know if the character is getting buffed or not. But the main thing for 3-star characters is we're going to be imprinting them. Whenever you imprint your characters and get them to triple S, you're going to be getting bookmarks back. You get, I think it's over half of a pity as a new player once you get so many of your characters up to triple S. And that's what we will be doing real quick, is just cleaning up, feeding any dupes into dupes, and locking one of each character that we already have. And I want you to go ahead and go through and clean up your inventory doing this. Even all 4 stars, lock your 4 stars, lock your 5 stars. Make sure you lock one of every character. If you lock it, then you don't have to worry about accidentally throwing them away. So as you see right here, you can transmit. You could transmit your 5 stars on accident. Always smart to lock your stuff. Okay, now go ahead and go through, clean up your inventory, and I will see you back in a second. So once you have cleaned up all your hero inventory, now we're going to go through and do a couple more of the missions. Now that we cleared stage 2-10, we're able to awaken our characters. So if we go to the Tyria missions, we can go ahead and do her first awakenings. Awakening characters gives them more power, and usually or always on the 3rd awakening gives them extra ability to one of their skills. You see here, it just makes their skill do more. This one resets the cooldown when enemy is defeated. Awakening characters is super important, obviously. I'm sure any of you that have ever played a game like this know that, but getting this done will give a bunch of extra stats, and these are base stats that get multiplied by your gear. So any percentage stat, this is just going to give you a ton of value overall to your characters. So you want to fully, any character you're going to be using, you want them fully awakened and 6-starred eventually. Now, once you're going through these missions, each time you do it, you have to back out, you have to go grab your stuff, and then you have to go back in. We've already equipped Free Spirit here with gear because we got the really good gear set. So we go in, put her on her artifact, and then we go back out. And then now we have to reach level 30 with her. So go in, and do we have any penguins? If we have any penguins, we will feed them to her. So we do not have any penguins. So we'll just leave her at level 23 for now. We will get some penguins from the upcoming missions and boost her. And it's just step by step. We'll have to wait a little bit on this. If you do have penguins, you can go ahead and keep going through these. But for right now, let's just stop there. And the next challenge for this regular set of missions, you have to summon 1 time, but you would use your 10 free summons. It counts for that. You get this gear. We just ignore all this gear for now. We need to start going to Abyss. So whenever you go into Abyss, what you're going to do, Abyss is in game mode that at the very beginning, super easy, and at the end, gets super annoying and hard. I will be making Abyss guides for all these floors. I've already got guides and videos that have me beating all the way up to floor 100 up on YouTube, but I will be trying to go from 100 to 120, utilizing the characters that we've already gotten, and maybe we get a bunch of selectors from this Epic Dash event. We might have to take specific characters from that to help us create teams to climb higher within that faster. So get into this, just use your story team, beat the first 10 stages right now. Once you beat the first 10 stages, full auto, you don't have to even look at the game and see, you just are going to plow through it. And I will come back once you beat those 10 stages to show you what to work on next. Clear to Abyss floor 10, we're going to go ahead and claim these are going to be a penguin chest, and then we now need to use this on a penguin. Or penguins on a hero. So let's go in and penguins on a hero. Let's just put them into Free Spiritheria because, as you saw, we need to upgrade our level 30. As you see, perfectly level 30. The game is set up to be very, hit you to the marks you need to get to every single time with beating each piece of content. You can get ahead by just doing a tiny bit. It makes it a little bit easier, but going slowly through it is fine. It'll make it to where you can't make any mistakes. So keep going through this, upgrading. You have to back out every single time. And then we get some duplicates. Now I'm going to teach you about imprinting. When you imprint a character, they're going to get extra stats. All characters can be imprinted. Moonlight characters can be imprinted with their red, green, blue versions. It's Free Spiritheria, as you see right here, and this accounts for Moonlight 5 characters. Free Spiritheria is a Moonlight 4 character. Moonlight is a light or dark character. You'll click memory imprint and you'll feed your Tyrias into it. So this, as you see, this is Fire Tyria. It's a different character, but they have the same name, so you can utilize them to imprint each other. If you pull duplicate 5 stars and they're not a good 5-star, most of the time what you're going to be doing is saving that character dupe, and you're going to be feeding it into the Moonlight 5-star when you eventually get it. Because with Epic 7, if you continue to play the game, one of the coolest parts about it, unlike Summer's War or Raid or any of the other PvP gacha games, is you are going to be getting most of the ML5s as you play for a long time. If you've been playing for 3 years, you will have a ton of them. So the next thing we do was we need to utilize one of these. These are called ego fragments. Each character has different stat values they get from imprinting. And you have an imprint release, and this means it gives it to your whole team or whatever these squares are. So if you see 4 squares here, it's giving it to your whole team. If you then use the stone on it, it will give whatever the right side stat is to itself. Now we need to back out again. We grab this, and this is the currency. It's called ego fragment. You can buy 2 a week ego fragments. At the beginning of the game, you're going to want way more as you get to the beginning of PvP, and it's annoying. So make sure whenever you get ego fragments, hold on to them until you know exactly where you're going to spend them. Now we go ahead and claim this. And the next mission is Limit Break, Flower Powder, Artie. And it'll take you into here. She's a warrior. And you'll take the one that's already equipped and then enhance it. If I can click on the right button here. You enhance that. And back out of the missions. And now we need to reach level 40. So we're to the point where we just go back and start farming through story again, because the next mission on here is clear stage 3. That's Student Adventure. What I'm going to have you guys do is try to clear all the way up to the end of chapter 3, and then we will talk about arena. You can go and just do the arena portion if you'd like, but I'm going to push all the way to the end of chapter 3 and then come back and we'll do arena together. This section, we're going to go ahead and claim this for clearing all of chapter 3. We beat all of chapter 3. We're to chapter 4. Chapter 3 takes a little bit, but once you are here, we're going to go ahead and first, before we get into arena, we're going to talk about the sanctuary. So the sanctuary, you're going to be getting Breath of Orbises. So this is going to be a very important part of the game. First off, we're going to go ahead and put 1 into this. It is free. It doesn't cost anything. And this is where you get a lot of your free-to-play Sky Stones. Over the course of a month, once you fully upgrade this, you're going to be getting, I don't know, it's quite a bit a day. This is one of your main sources for free-to-play Sky Stones. And then next up, you're going to have your Forest of Souls. The way that you upgrade your overall sanctuary, that's what this is called, is as you upgrade them, that is the order you are going to be upgrading or putting your Breath of Orbises. So first you unlock Forest of Souls. Forest of Souls, we're going to be upgrading this to 313. So if you look right here, we need to build this up to 313. The first one is free. That's the middle one. Now the middle one is already done. Next up, we are going to make sure that the second one is going to be the higher tier penguin or this. It doesn't matter which you do. Before we go and make any penguins, we'll be upgrading it max anyway. And we'll just do 1 in that. And let's actually do 1, 1, 2. Okay. The third one makes it to where it costs less to you, because this is where you use Stigma. It makes it cost less to Stigma to get the items or the things that you're going to be grabbing from it. And now let's go ahead and clear the skip tutorial. And if you click Growth Altar here, you have the ability to spend Stigma to either get 1 penguin or 10 penguins. And this is going to be how you make 6 stars throughout the game. You need 20 Spirit Wells, which is 45,000, meaning you need 90,000 Stigma for 6-star. Sounds like a lot, but as you get further into this guide series, if you're farming, especially with all the new player buffs, you are going to be able to 6-star a character and get 90,000 Stigma in probably 3 hours of farming. So in one day, you could 6-star 5 characters if you really grinded it out. And the game autos, once you get to that point, you just set it to auto, come back every 15, 20 minutes, start it again. Very, very quick to make 6-stars. Now that we are done with the sanctuary, the next thing I want to talk about is guilds. Guilds are always super important, but for this guide series, this is the most important guilds has ever been. I will explain why after we go through this. So whenever you get into the game, you're going to want to find a guild. You could join a random guild, but the problem is those guilds will likely be inefficient. Whenever you first join, I do have a Discord server. You can join the Discord server. A link will be down in the description and the top at the pinned comment. Whenever you click that, you need to go into and read the rules. When you first join the Discord, there will be a rules tab and a roles not working tab. As you see right here, oh my, there's a Buffalo Guild, guys. Sorry, this is somebody else. So I'm doing the stream guide content. You can go and watch any of the live streams. All the full videos of those will be in a playlist that's also linked in the description. And that's just one of them. I'm sorry, little distraction point. But if you want to join the Discord, read the rules and click at the end. There's an emote that has about 17,000 reactions right now. You just click the emote next to it. You don't click any kind of react or anything. You just click on the emote that auto reacts for you. That will give you access to the server to where you can see the rest of the server. If you don't do that and join, you won't see the server. But the reason to join Discord is we have hundreds of guilds. We continue to make guilds for new players. If you want to get into the game, join one of those and you will be getting into an efficient guild right away, because anyone who is going through the guide series will have the same knowledge you do and will not be inefficient, basically, because I'm going to teach you what to do in the guild right here. So I'm going to go ahead and make a guild right now. It's going to be called Buffalo V2, and then I'm going to go ahead and set it to selective. Now, you guys do not need to make a guild if you're going to be joining a guild. We do need some more guild leaders, though. If any of you guys, maybe returning players, know a little bit of the game and want to lead a guild, join the Discord. Is a step program that you can go through to create your own guild. We'll get everything set up for you, and then you will be able to recruit from our Discord server from other people looking to get into a guild. So guild introduction will be guide. Now we are going to found our guild. Once you get into the guild, I'm going to show you your daily routine for guild. I'm going to go ahead and skip this when it pops up. You are going to go to aid first thing. Most important thing to do every day is go to aid, click aid, and you want to request Wyvern Claws every single day. Okay, requesting this lowest rarity Wyvern Claw. If you join a brand new guild and everybody does the lowest rarity Wyvern Claw and you give to everyone else, so if you click request aid, other people's will pop up and you click on it, and you will be getting some of your Wyvern Claws back, and then you'll give it to the next person. You're just trading it around, and you need to get as many transactions between you and your guildmates as possible, and I will show you why after this. As you get further into the game, you want to request the highest rarity Wyvern Claw. It is the most efficient thing you do for the guild. I will not break down the math right now, just to keep this guide slightly shorter, but that is going to be the most effective thing you do. Never request Catalyst. If you request Catalyst, you'll be insta-kicked. Honestly, if you request anything but Claws, you'll probably be kicked from whatever guild you're in. It's part of our guild rules. We have a set list of guild rules. If you don't log in for 3 days, you'll be kicked. And then if you request Catalyst, you'll be kicked. Those are the main 2 rules. Other than that, they're very casual. You don't have to stress about being strong in PvP or in the Guild Wars section, which I will go over in a second. Next, you need to donate every day this. It is 50,000 gold. The reason you donate for this is so that your guild leader can buy buffs for you. So you have your buff here. You have Blessing of Knowledge and Blessing of Wealth. You want to buy buffs. With these buffs, you're always going to be getting 10% more XP, which means you're getting a 10% stigma gain. Next up, you're going to be getting 10% gold. Having a 10% gold buff, if all your players are donating, you always have the gold buff up. This easily pays for the 50,000 gold or 50,000 gold that you donate every day. You'll make so much more back. 1,000% is it's just important. I don't know what I was trying to say there. Now, once you're into the guild, there's a couple things we're going to show after this, but the big thing with guilds is our guild wars. Guild wars are the main way to get mystic medals at Epic 7, and with getting mystic medals, that's how you get the powerful ML5 characters. If you keep up with your guild wars throughout a year, it gives you enough currency just from guild wars to pity, I think it's about 3 ML5s. Let me know, Twitch chat. I'm currently streaming while making this guide, but I believe it's about enough to pity at least 3 characters throughout the year. Maybe it's only 2. somewhere around that, depending on the level of your guild. But once you get into a guild, it's very, very important to get your guild war teams started and learn how to fight to try to get as many of that as possible. So the first thing you need to do is when you get into guild war, make sure you go and set up your defense team. When you click the guild war option, then just click auto assign. Once you click auto assign, you can back out, and now your guild leader can assign you to a tower. I cannot show the towers or anything at the current moment because this guild isn't set up. But if you want to get into Epic 7 and have the proper experience, if you find a good guild, Epic 7 is a community-based game. Again, if you're joining the Discord, it's not just for guilds. It's any questions you have going through the game. We have an E7 help chat. We have a Discord chat. If you want to flex some of your summons, you can go in there. We have a flex channel. If you have questions about gearing, what gear is good, you can ask there. We have 14,000 people currently in the server. It's the biggest Epic 7 server outside of the official one, and it's very fun. I love our server. We've gotten some really cool people in there. I hang out in there all the time. I argued with someone in there for probably 2 hours last night, and it was one of my other people. So we have advisors that are people who have roles that help a lot of other players. You can earn advisor roles for helping. The Discord's just a fun little thing, but it will help you progress into the game. Next, the reason guilds are important for this guide is connections. They have added Tamarin to connections. With Tamarin being in connections, you are going to have to be getting that was Yuna. Tamarin in connection at the top. One of Tamarin's first missions, we can't show the missions right now on the screen, but it is donate aid to your friend or your guild mates. Aid is where we requested those Wyvern Claws. That's why you want to be slamming Wyvern Claws from the moment you start the game and grind out as many as you can. The more active your guild is, the more you're requesting Wyvern Claws, the more transactions you could do. So with Wyvern Claws, with the lowest rarity, you can do like 10 transactions in the first day, which is half of her challenge. You need to do 20 total. So you can technically get her done in 2 days, but the average player is probably going to take 3 to 4 days to finish Tamarin with going through the guide. And that's why we started with Destina, so we have a very strong Soul Weaver until we get Tamarin. That is the main reason to try to get into a guild, and it is retroactive. So if you get into a guild today, your aid will start counting from today toward that mission. So whenever you do get to the portion where you unlock where you can see them, they will already be completed if you get all of them done. So if you get 10 done, whenever you unlock her, you'll show 10 out of 20. The sooner you start doing that, the better. Now we're to the arena portion. This is the longest part of the guide and an individual part besides the final boss fight, because I'll record the whole boss fight. Whenever you go into arena is going to be a way you get your free sky stones every week. I'll cover more of arena later. This will just be basic what to do for right now. As you go into it, you're going to have to set a defense team. Right at the beginning of the game, none of this matters. Just throw 4 units on your defense team, and it does not matter who you use. Slap 4 units on there. Next up, we are going to skip the story. You can watch the story. It's actually one of the cooler cutscenes in the game. And we are going to go into our battles. Every single day, you want to make sure you're using as many flags as you can while you're playing. You get 1 flag per hour, and you can have 5 flags. So if you log in every 5 hours and bring your flags, you will get a lot more progression. Hopefully, those of you that are playing E7 are going to be grinding. And also with this guide, 1, it is free to play. This guide, I will not spend a penny on this account. 2, it is going to be, I don't remember what I was going to say. So the way that this works is you go in, and every single day you have 10 quick battles. Quick battles are it's just a way to auto battle. It'll tell you whether you win or not. It goes through all the different turns of the fight. So sometimes you could auto battle one team and win. Other times you auto battle one team and lose. It takes all the RNG and skill effects and everything into account. And if you click this button, the quick match here. And if you burn through all your quick matches every day, this is already enough if you don't feel like super grinding. And see, it's that fast. If you now don't do quick battle, though, you can go into the fight, and this allows you to actually select your skills. And maybe there's a team or some kind of fight that you want to do that you need to click skills to guarantee things will work. This is how you're going to do it. And you can only do 10 quick battles a day, so you're going to have to get used to spending some of your flags from doing this if you are actually logging in and keeping up with your flags. And that's all you do. So from this point, I want you to go ahead and burn all of your flags. And I'm going to go ahead and show a couple more things. And then from here, it's a couple more missions. I don't know if there's anything specific that I need to cover within that, but it'll start going very fast from here. Now that we've covered arena, the last thing to cover in this little section is going to be Spirit Altar. But real quick, I did want to mention with the Epic Dash Pass, claim any of the stuff that you have done so far, any of the missions that said receive, Go ahead and grab it. You get a little bit more experience for your missions that you've done. And you are going to be getting these 4,500 armbands, okay? These 4,500 armbands, what we're going to be doing with them is buying a bunch of really good artifacts. This is one of the greatest parts about starting a new account right now, is if you go into the members shop, you are going to buy one Proof of Valor, and then you're going to buy one Victorious Flag, and you're going to buy one Symbol of Unity, and then you're going to buy one Warhorn, and then you're going to also buy one Bastion of Hope. These are 6 5-star artifacts. The guild artifacts are very strong. I don't have a use or guided decision, so just hold on to your currency for now until you know what you want to spend it on later in the game. But for right now, that is what we're buying, one of each, and then we're going to go ahead and go back to our characters. We're going to go into Tieria and Destina and all of these. We're going to switch our Destina onto Proof of Valor. This will help us just stay alive going throughout the game. And then we're going to put Raz on Warhorn. So Raz, or whoever you're using, you want one of your tanks or support characters, just slap them on Warhorn. Or you could do it opposite. You could put Proof of Valor on Raz and then Warhorn on your Destina. But Destina staying alive keeps your team alive for longer. So that is the way that I did it in the other one. Spectre Tenebria, you have 2 options for her. You can either put her on Symbol of Unity, or whenever you get into the game, you're going to have the free artifact. So let me go ahead and go into Grade. You get the free 5-star artifact from the event. Let me find it. I don't see it. I think it's in my mailbox. So you can go ahead and just put Symbol of Unity on Spectre Tenebria. I think it's at the very bottom here. Here it is. So you can go ahead and grab this. This artifact would also work on Spectre Tenebria. Either way you do it is fine. And lastly, Free Spirit Tyria, we're just going to put on her artifact, the Flower Powder Shop. And then we are going to use all of the duplicate copies we have of that on her, or on that. So just max limit break it and just leave it at base level. You leave all this stuff at base level for now. Your Spectre Tenebria, now we're to this point, you can also go into Manage Equipment. This will allow you to see all your equipment, and you got a gear set for your Tyria missions. It's this attack set. You can go ahead and throw it on her. You don't need to level it up because we're going to be switching her gear in a second anyway, but this at least gives her some extra stat. And one thing you can also do is check if you have any awakening runes, see what her first awakening is. You can go ahead and do your first awakenings on all of your story characters, and this will allow you to beat things a little bit faster. You don't have to do it. The game is still super easy at this point. None of your overall stats matter. I'll go ahead and do this off recording just to save us some time. But the next thing is Spirit Altar. So all those runes you just saw for awakening characters, Spirit Altar is where you get that. Now, coming in, you need to clear 1 Spirit Altar for the mission. Doesn't matter which one you do. I usually start with Dark because we want to get Spectre Tenebria's runes as quick as we can. So you just go through, you'll just one-shot this in 2 seconds with your Tyria, because the gear that you get at the beginning is so overpowered, it's insane, and it's not even leveled up yet. So just go ahead and one-shot both bosses. It takes 2 seconds, and now we're done with that mission. Once you have finished that mission, I want to also talk about one more thing with the Dash Pass. I completely forgot the main reasoning we went in there because I got distracted by the artifacts. But with the Dash Pass, depending on when you start Epic 7, whether you're watching this guide from the first day I uploaded it, or if you're watching this guide down the road, this event is only here for 54 days. So 54 days is about 7.5 weeks. Well, the way the Epic Dash Pass works is you are only going to be able to do the week that whenever you start, you'll be able to do the first week. And then if you click here, you have to finish all quests for that week to get into the next portion. So to get to week 2 challenges, you have to finish all week 1. So if you start this game a month from now, you may not be able to finish all the missions. That is the hard part. With doing week 1, each of these actually takes 7 days. You get 750 points per day from your dailies. It's very important you finish all of these. If you start now, it's less stressful. You have an extra 2 weeks, and there's only 6 weeks of missions. But if you start in 2 weeks, you got to make sure you are not missing a single thing. And if you start 4 weeks from now, you're most likely screwed on getting the max rewards. One cool thing, though, is if you want to and you start late, you can spend Skystones to increase these and finish them faster. It probably is worth it depending on where you are, because spending 1,000 Skystones so that you can make sure you get another full hero selector that's fully skilled up, that is totally worth it. It just depends. If you guys are curious on whether you spend Skystones or not, this is for people who are starting in a month from now. Say today is September 3rd. If you're starting on October 3rd, maybe you want to ask some questions. That's where the Discord is good. This rage set is very, very good. This pen set is going to be very good for you. All this gear is good, but the main thing is these are worth so much. A maxed out character is worth 32 Molagoras, plus all the resources to make them 6-star. that probably every single one of these character things is probably worth 20,000 sky stones by themselves. Very, very high value, and you're getting also 5-star character here that's worth a lot. And then the summons you get, the slate by itself is probably worth around 8,000 sky stones if they were to sell it in game. All of it is super high value, so you will likely want to spend some sky stones to finish all of this up and speed up the progress. Now, because you get a ton of free sky stones in the game. Now, that is the last thing I have to cover, the Epic Dash Pass. I just wanted to make sure any of you guys that start later did know that. I did not know that because Twitch chat just informed me. That's the hard part about banking this guide. Again, trying to make sure I catch everything. If there are any updates or edits to the guide, I will make a comment down in the comment section in the pinned comment with it. Okay, so the pinned comment's going to have a link to Discord, a link to a couple other things probably, and then there will be little edits of things that I need to show. Now, that's all I have for this little section. Your next goal is to push as far as you can in these missions. Just keep doing what it says, enhance a piece of equipment 4 times. Whenever you're enhancing equipment, always enhance to start out your Free Spirit Tyrion's gear. You know this gear is good, so just go in and upgrade 4 times. So you use 1 powder at a time, 1 charm at a time to finish this. But always take Free Spirit Tyrion's gear as the first priority to upgrade, and then go ahead, go through all of this all the way until you finish, and we will come back once we get to the Adept Adventure path. So meet you back here in a second. Okay, now that you guys have finished the portion that is the missions here, the Growing Adventure missions, go ahead and claim all of them, and you're going to be getting an extra Labyrinth token back. You're going to be getting a couple extra rewards, and now it's going to start. Oh, we got to click claim again. We got Corinne, okay? So Corinne can be used as your damage dealer for Wyvern until you get Mui. But now we're to the point where we need to go in and do Enhance Equipment to +9. This portion of the guide is going to be, I'm going to let you guys just run rampant. You know how to do arena battles. You know how to do all this stuff. Like I said, continue upgrading your Tyria gear. When you get this free HP set right here, put it on your Raz, and then don't upgrade any of the gear for right now, though. You're going to be getting better gear. Once you get this attack set, you can put it on your Spectre Tenebria, and then just keep pushing through all this. And we're not going to come back until we get to the end of 6-10. I'm going to teach you about hero skill enhancements. Okay, again, do not spend any sky stones. Our goal with this guide is to spend as few sky stones as we possibly can, and then from there we are going to teach you where to most efficiently spend those sky stones when you do feel the need to spend them. I don't want you guys spending sky stones on anything. The only thing that you're allowed to buy, I'm going to have you guys all buy this at this current moment, is go to your Epic Pass. This will answer a lot of questions from people. Whenever you get into your Epic Pass, you want to click Epic Pass Upgrade. You want to buy the 900 cost one of this. This is a huge value. The rewards you get are good. The 2500 one is not worth it, and I'll explain real quick. So go ahead and spend your 900 sky stones. After this, you will not spend any sky stones on pretty much anything. I will tell you what you are allowed to spend them on, or how to efficiently spend your early game sky stones to get your account as stabilized as possible. So now that we have bought this, we do not buy this because these are level 88 equipment pack, but they are random stats. So whenever you buy that with 1500 sky stones, you are gambling. You could spend 1500 sky stones and all of this gear could be absolutely terrible. We get so much free gear from the challenges and things currently going right now that there is no reason to buy that. If you want to gamble, maybe if you're a spender and going to be spending money on the game, you can buy it and gamble. Otherwise, you do not want to buy it and end up getting nothing. So we're going to try to be smart and make good decisions. And the first good decision is hold back the urge to gamble. All right. So now that we're to this part, like I said, go ahead and clear all the way up to chapter 7, or to the part where we get to the skill enhancements on characters. You guys know how to do all these missions. Again, put the gear on the characters I said, and I'll do a little account update once we get to the hero skill enhancement part and show you where I am at. So I will be back in just a minute. Okay, one real quick added thing into this is I want you to go into your gear inventory and I want you to click arrange. So your gear might be getting filled up. As you see, we're 49 out of 100. You want to try to avoid upgrading this as much as possible. Only upgrade it if you absolutely have to. You're going to want to go in and sell all the gear. All the gear that you're not currently using, all this gear is overall pretty bad. The only thing that you might save is the HP sets for right now. Any HP set 41 or higher, go ahead and save those. And then everything else, though, you can just go ahead and get rid of. If you are curious and the gear looks better than anything I have in here, just hold on to it. Gearing is hard, but all this trash gear it's just not worth even looking at. This is from, I think we did Abyss. We got this lifesteal gear. You can go ahead and sell all of it. You're never going to use it. T41 gear. Once you play for a day, you're going to be using all T75 or above gear pretty much. And so you don't need any of this. So go ahead and sell any of this as you keep playing. Just keep going in and selling all that. You'll be fine. Just if you ever curious on PC gear, if it looks good and it's above, it's like around T70 or above, then maybe don't sell it and maybe ask in Discord or find out before you do it. But otherwise, sell all the low end gear that you have. And now I will be back once we get to the end of chapter 6. Guys, there's a second upgrade skill mission here. So what I'm going to have you do, I'm going to teach you how to skill upgrade, and then at the end of this, just push to the end of chapter 7. Okay, there's 2 different skill upgrades that you need to do. I was not aware of that. As a new player, the easiest thing you can do for your first skill enhancements is go to your Raz, because he's a 3-star. So with 3-star characters, their skill enhancements only cost stigma. It's going to be the most efficient thing you can do. I cannot find my Raz ever. So here's my Raz. We're going to go ahead and click this top button here, and we have skill enhance. So with skill enhancements, you want to try not to waste any Mologora. Mologoras are a super rare, annoying currency in this game. As you become an in-game player, you will realize that you need infinite Mologoras. So just go ahead and upgrade Raz's skill here. Doesn't matter which one you do. Really, as a 3-star character, you don't care at all. But I'm going to show you right now, Spectre Tibra, you are going to end up skill enhancing her, but it doesn't allow you to. But a general 4-star or 5-star character, we got to skill enhance. As you look, just to fully upgrade them, it would cost, I think, 32 Mologora or more. That's why you never want to just go and start randomly upgrading skills. I'm not going to upgrade any skills on my Destina. We're going to save all our Mologoras. There's a character we're going to be getting called Sigret at the end of this video. We're going to be fully leveling up her skills, and we're going to level up Spectre Tenebria's skills fully. And from there, you will kind of understand skill enhancements, and you won't make as many mistakes. Just the biggest thing is don't use Mologora or Skystones, and your account will very likely just be completely fine, no matter any other mistake you make throughout the period of playing through the beginning here. Now, again, the next part of the guide will be once we get to the end of this mission list. You know how to do all of this stuff. If there's anything weird, I'll pop back in and explain. But again, just keep upgrading tiers, gear for any of the missions, and get to the end of this part of clear 7-10. After 7-10, we unlock hunts and a bunch of other things that we will go over. Now that you have finished all of the missions, we are going to be doing a bunch of stuff real quick. We unlocked a million different things I need to explain. I said there wasn't going to be any more long little portions of the guide. I lied. This part might be the longest. So you look here, we did just get some new free gear sets, and we're going to be putting those on our characters. Now, getting out of this, keep claiming until it gives you all the stuff. We did get Mystic Medals. When you get Mystic Medals, I'm going to go over Mystic Summoning as well in this little portion. That's actually what we're going to go start with, just to keep the guide simple. Mystic Medals, the way Mystic Medals work is different from other banners. Other banners, you have to pity the character with 605 Covenant bookmarks. And limited, this is a limited banner. These banners only come around once a year generally. And there are other ways to get limited characters throughout the years. But if a character just came out and they're in the first rotation, you cannot get them again for 1 year. So Frida just came out, meaning she won't be here for 1 year. But if you don't get her, it's not a big deal. Next up, you have your regular banners. They come around on rotations, and you have to the same system. They're here for so much time. As you see, there's a timer next to it. That means all these banners are ending soon. So you only have 1 day left to get this. And this area, we're going to be doing Story Summon because we will have a 7-day period. Next up, we have Mystic Summon. Mystic Summon is different. Mystic Summon, whenever you do it, and your pity resets, by the way. That's the main point I wanted to cover. If you did 60 summons on a Saria banner or Frida banner and they go away, that just means you wasted 60 summons if you didn't get the character. You always want to summon when you have ability to get 605 bookmarks. As a new player, I would not spend any Sky Stones to get this. This is going to be a free-to-play guide. We're going to try to be min-max as much as possible. That's why we're not summoning on either of these banners right away or any of the banners that are currently there. Depending on when you start, you'll see different timers. Do not summon until you think you will be able to pity them without any problem. Normally, as a new player, you're probably going to be earning about 100 bookmarks a day through missions and challenges. That is a good way to know if you could summon on the banner. As long as you're playing and grinding, you'll earn about 100 bookmarks a day through challenges. So if the banner is going to end in 4 days and you have 200 bookmarks, you'll probably be able to pity it, no problem. If you ever need to, later in the guide, I will show you how to efficiently spend your Sky Stones to get bookmarks. Buying bookmarks straight up with Sky Stones is inefficient. It will overall hurt the amount of characters you have on your account. And the reason for that is using them efficiently, you're going to also be getting Mystic Medals on top of your regular bookmarks. And Mystic Medals are how you get your PvP characters. So your pity resets, that's the important thing. But with Mystic banners, your pity does not reset. Whenever you are doing a Mystic banner, I need to stop saying so, okay? As I'm trying to, I'm sorry. But with your Mystic banners, the pity does not reset. Meaning that you can summon on any character that is good. The way to know if they're good is asking Discord, ask around, look up videos, do your research. And whenever you summon on it, whenever the next banner comes up, so if you see this will last 22 hours to get Imperial LNF. Next up, we have a 4 rerun banner. The way Epic 7 works is we get a new Moonlight 5 introduced to the game every 3 or every 6 weeks. And then we have a rerun banner where they throw 4 other ML5s, usually ones that got some kind of balance patch or thing done to them recently, and they'll be in here that you could summon on. Crimson Armor, also very, very good character. But this banner right here is not very value. None of these characters are great. Lionheart Sermia is getting a buff and she will be usable again. And Sigurd Scythe is also good. Aureus is good. This banner you can summon on if you do Lionheart Sermia, if you're starting at a time where this is gone. The problem is the next character coming is likely Harsetti. It's a boss character for the newest chapter. Boss characters are always super strong. So a lot of people are saving all the resources and not summoning on anything until waiting for her, because boss characters generally change the game completely when they come out or add a new mechanic that is super, super strong. But I'm going to go ahead and summon Imperial Elenev as a good character. Maybe you have a little time left. You can summon on her. If you get her, cool. If you don't, oh well. And it is what it is. I didn't get her. Now, that is Mystic Metal explained that I'm at 199 pity. It's going to carry over until you pull a 5-star or get down to pity, and then you'll pity the 5-star. If you were to spend money to straight pity a character, I'll tell you now, a Moonlight 5 character costs $700 to guarantee to get. Very, very expensive. That's why it's important to do your guild wars to get your mystic metals and refresh your skystones efficiently to make sure you're getting as many mystic metals as possible. And you do not need to spend money in these 7 to have a good time. But $700 is what it costs to fully pity a Moonlight 5 character. But as a free-to-play, you're going to be getting a ton of Moonlight 5s. Again, that's a cool difference between this game and other PvP gacha games. Now, the next thing that I wanted to show, I believe that was it, right? Was there any other reason I went in there? I think that was the Mystic Metal, what I wanted to show. Next up, we're going to go back to the Epic Dash, make sure you're claiming all this, and we are going to have a new thing added to the game that is called Gablumu's Treasure Chest. Gablumu's Treasure Chest is a really cool, ooh, what is this? Oh, we get a 5-star hero ticket. We'll open that too. But Gablumu's Treasure Chest is one of the coolest things added to E7. If you are a new player getting into the game and your plan is to get into Epic 7 hardcore and get into PvP, you only want to do this 10 times a day. You can use any team. It doesn't matter. Everyone's saying, oh, you need a single target it. You do need a single target attack to kill the enemies. But if you just take whatever story, I always just take my story team in and clear it. This is not hard to do. But the gear you get from this is amazing for new players to stabilize your account. If you're a casual player, this is amazing to, again, stabilize your account. One of the best events they've ever added into this game. So this gear starts with max rolls no matter what. I'll go ahead and do one run of it just to show you what the gear looks like. And then from there, I'll kind of explain the only problems. It starts with max rolls, but then it can only low roll from there. If you have a good piece of gear with good substats, so say that's the Goblin stage. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than that. It's very, very quick. Now with this, you see it starts with 8%, 8%, 8%. Those are all max rolls. And this piece of gear isn't great, okay? You're going to have to learn gearing over time, but for all players, I'm going to suggest that you farm this 10 times a day to get the 10 pieces of gear. If any of this gear ends up being good, it's a great placeholder piece of gear to put on a character until you get better gear. Now, if you're just a super casual player and want to farm this a lot, go ahead. But after the 9 daily chances, the problem is you're not guaranteed a piece of gear. So I can get 9 more guaranteed pieces of gear, and then if you farm it past that, you're going to just be getting charms. And that's not the greatest value. 1 charm for 20 stamina isn't great value. It's up to you to decide what you want to do. If the reason you quit Epic 7 is because the gearing's too hard, I will be making a gear video. But if you want to take the game casually and not care, goblins, treasure storage, if you farm it a ton, the gear that drops from this, you could clear all PvE content in the game with just this gear. But anybody who isn't, that actually wants to get into D7, just farm it 9 times or 10 times a day. That's it. And maybe you get a good piece, maybe you don't. It's a nice placeholder gear. Okay, now that that's explained, the next part of the thing that we are going to do is go and rebuild our team. Always wait and see until later is my best advice. For Valor's good, I'll put this at +6. Just don't waste any of your upgrading materials until you are very confident you are putting it into a good place. If you've already used some, your count's not bricked, you're fine. It doesn't really matter if you utilize some of the gear or your resources early. But the biggest advice I have is if you ever are curious or hesitant, don't do it. So there's our Spectre Tenebria gear, and let's go ahead and throw a little bit of gear on Raz, and we're also going to awaken Raz. Let me throw the gear on. I'll do all the awakenings and stuff off video just to save us a little bit of time, because again, this video is already super long, but we want a little bit of extra stat on these characters to get past Wyvern. Now that this is done, we can go ahead and look at our Free Spiriteria. With Free Spiriteria, you can upgrade this gear a little bit more. Let's go ahead and put this up to +9. And then once you have this gear upgraded to this point, you should be able to push through the rest of story, no problem. Maybe upgrade the boots to +12, that'll help a lot too. And if you ever are getting stuck whenever we get into the next story portions, you just leave and upgrade this gear a little bit more. But I never want to upgrade past what is completely necessary for that portion of the game. If you did go and fully boost your Free Spiriteria gear, then you're just going to one-shot everything and it'll be funny. But there are challenges that you have to upgrade gear to certain portions for certain percents, and that's hard. Next up on the mission, we need to promote Free Spiriteria to 5-star, and this is combining Spirit Blooms. So with combining Spirit Blooms, if you click this, we need 16 reds, meaning that it takes 80. So it's, I believe, 5, isn't that 5? 5 per for this, and you can combine your little Spirit Blooms into Epic Spirit Blooms to 6-star character with little Spirit Blooms. It costs 500. Okay, and then as you see here, to do it, it costs 80 for a 5-star. Now we'll go ahead and promote her. This challenge is done, and see if we can level her up. We want her to be max level. Bang, there we go. We did a bunch more challenges, but we have our team basically set up for the next parts of what we need to do. Main thing is we unlocked hunt challenges. So let's go ahead and grab this. Save all, and now we got another set. Actually, I just messed up. All right, hopefully that gear size I just upgraded. That's my bad. That is a mistake, and that's why it is very hard to make guides, is because you forget where you get everything. There's so much going on with this new event. That gear set that we just got and +6'd it, we're going to go ahead and remove it because I'm an idiot. My bad. I'm probably going to cut that part out, but this is how you build your Spectre Tenebria. Go ahead and put this gear on your Spectre Tenebria, and now we're going to upgrade all of this gear to the sword. We're going to go to +9. I'm going to have to edit that part out of the guide, but +9 on the sword and +9 on the helmet. I forgot you got this gear at this part. Now that is upgraded. Upgrade this to +9. And now we have our pretty much main gear we're going to be using for clearing all the way up until chapter 3, just based off what we already have. We'll get a little bit different gear for our tanks, or our Destina and our Raz. But this gear right here is going to carry us as far as we need to go. Upgrade this last one. Okay, now that we have our teams ready and geared up, we're going to go ahead and go into Wyvern. So if you click up here in the upper, the events tab, there are web events. So I want to go over web events real quick too. In the web events, you want to click ongoing events, and you're going to have your Archie 7-day guide. I'm only going to claim day 1 because that's all I admit. But like I said, I logged in multiple days so I could finish more episodes of the guide in a single session. And that way I will catch up to any of you and you guys won't have to wait. I'll be ahead of anyone who's starting at the same time. You claim all your day 1 guide stuff, and then you're going to be getting this ticket for 50% extra EXP. Next up, this is something you need to do the rest of the time you play Epic 7. Every day you'll log in and you'll do your collect points event. This changes all the time, but it's always do 20 of something to get 4. It's a way that you get 200 stamina to even more stamina depending on the event. And then once you get that, you'll go and we're going to exchange these. On this event, it's an exchange event. Other events are just you claim the stamina and you go get some free rewards and you're done. The first thing you want to buy is the right side charms. Right side charms are, again, for new players, the biggest gatekeeper in the game. So you buy the purple right side charms first, then you buy the lower right side charms after. The bigger ones are more value because it's 10 points, and it takes 3 of these to equal 1 of these. So always buy the purples first. And that is what you'll do. And then from there, you'll just continue to buy charms, and you buy the artifact charms. You don't need to buy anything else. This reset stone you can buy eventually, but for right now, there's only 7 days left on this event. When you start, you might have a different event. And then once you complete so many parts of the event, you'll be getting different items for here. So since we only have 7 days left, I will only be able to get maybe to the small Agora. But whenever you originally have a web event start, as long as you're doing it from day 1, you'll get all the rewards. Now, we have the call to adventure. With a call to adventure, we need to complete all this, and we're going to be getting 10 or 9 extra covenant summons for 7 days. So every day we log in, we're going to be doing 40 free summons on top of a bunch of other summons. You can go ahead and claim all of this. And then next up, we have adventure for new heirs. You want to make sure you're claiming all of this as well. As we clear chapter 10-10, which we're going to be doing very soon, we are going to grab all of this, and a new mission will pop up. We go in here and claim all this stuff. Next up, we have the hunt challenge. So this is the main reason I came into here. The way you start this, you need to complete hunt 6 or higher to participate in this event. So what we're going to do is go into battle. You're going to click hunt, and we're going to skip this because it's going to tell us how to do hunt. We're going to go into it, and then we're going to clear to part 6 of Wyvern right here. Now that, and then I will be back after we clear part 6. Just bring this team in. It will beat it all the way to 6. So I will see you in a minute once you are to Wyvern 6. Beat Wyvern 6. Okay, so as you're doing the Wyvern stages, one thing I forgot to show is you need to upgrade your Destina a little bit in her level and her gear. I did not upgrade that, so I want you guys to go in, upgrade all of her gear to +6, except the sword. I mean, you can upgrade the sword, it doesn't matter. Maybe you hit a little bit, but just go in, upgrade all of her gear. And the second thing you want to do is go ahead and do her level up. Any extra penguins that you have, you can go ahead and throw them into her. It will help you. If you can't level 50 or maybe I have some penguins you guys don't have, but you should be close to the same amount of penguins. As long as she's level 40 or above, you're probably fine. When you do that, you can slap some awakenings on some of these or any of the characters too that you haven't done any awakenings on. So this will give you the bulk you need, and then you can clear it no problem. So go ahead, keep farming, or keep going through all the Wyvern. I just noticed my Destina was taking a lot of damage. I was only Wyvern 4 because I forgot to upgrade stuff. So upgrade the stuff, go finish Wyvern 6, and meet me back here in just a second. Okay, now that you have finished up to Wyvern 6, go ahead and go into your guild just as a checkup. Hopefully you've joined a guild by now. Make sure you're slamming as many of these requests as you can for your Tamarant missions. Now, another thing that we're going to need to do is go into our Sanctuary before we go into the whole hunt challenge thing. The first thing you want to do in Sanctuary is now we're going to do our High Command. High Command are dispatch missions. These are timed missions while you're not playing the game. They get you resources. Go ahead and upgrade the middle one, and the High Command is going to be 111. Okay, that is what you put. You put one on the left, one on the right. That's all you need to do. Now, the missions that we're going to be doing for High Command for the beginning of the game are going to be 30-minute missions. So while you're grinding, playing, you want to finish as many dispatch missions as you can because there is a character that requires dispatch mission or clears. That is Lorena. I'll go over all this in a second, but just go ahead and go into this. You're going to have to throw in one higher level character for each of these. I'm not getting maximum bonus because these aren't leveled up. And it's fine, but then you're going to do the low cost one of that and low cost one of this. Throw in 3 characters, and we need to go down and find one of our higher level characters. Mercedes level 10, I think that's all you need. It says required level. One of your characters has to be level 10. Now, with this, every 30 minutes, we're going to finish one dispatch mission. We also have 3 Breath of Vortices left. Again, the most important thing to do at the beginning is get your left side and right side of your altar done. Or what is this called? Force of Souls. Force of Souls done. Now we have our penguins at 3. So again, it's 313. Actually, this is done, isn't it? Yes, this is done. So 313, our Force of Souls is done, and our dispatch mission High Command is done. We are finished with this part. Now we need to start working on our right side, which means we need to go get more Breath of Vortices. And that will come just passively through going through the guide. Next up, we are done with that, but the reason we need to do those dispatch missions is because we need to get our Lorena. As you see, we need to complete 20 dispatch missions to finish her, and we need to start working on all these Angelica missions. Go ahead and claim the ones you haven't done. These are important because you need to get 3 connection heroes finished for one of the missions in here. You scroll over, you need to finish 3 connection heroes. This one is going to kind of backtrack, and they made this really awkward. They didn't change this mission. They removed a bunch of characters from connections you used to be able to get. You are probably going to be stuck on this for a while, even though you can push further and finish the other chapters. Just be aware of that. It's okay. It's normal. Everyone's going to be stuck there. There is a way to get past that, which we'll talk about later as we get further. The next thing that we're talking about, though, is going to be in the ongoing events again, is the Hunt Expert Challenge. Go ahead and click it once you beat Wyvern 6. And then you're going to click Wyvern here. Once you hit confirm, you are good to go in. Now, one thing that's added to this, if you're an old player who's done hunt challenges before, you can now back out of it and pick a different hunt. We're not going to do that right now, but that is an option. I just want to show you any old players who used to not be able to do that. You can switch around to different hunt missions. The thing we need to do now is we need to obtain 10 Blazing Rages and 8 Epic Spirit Blooms. Epic Spirit Blooms, the way you obtain those, you're going to have to obtain a bunch of them. The way you obtain those, though, is you go into your growth altar, and you're going to be getting them from right here. Each one costs 4,000 stigma. I'm going to teach you guys how to farm stigma later. If you are playing your account, what am I trying to say here? If you're playing your account close to when I started the video, or the series, so right now is September 3rd or 4th, you can go into event, and there is a coupon code. If you cannot do this on iOS, this is only on Android, and you can scroll down and go to enter coupon code. Once you come into here, you're going to go and enter the code epic-start. This code is going to give you a lot that you need to finish the mission that we just saw. So you can come in here, you can claim this, and there is your 8 epic spirit blooms already done. And you get 5 penguins, you get some charms. So now that mission's already done, and we can look at what the other missions are. And go down to Hunt Expert Challenge, and now see that mission is completed. Next, we need to obtain 10 Blazing Rages. The way to get your 10 Blazing Rages, there's multiple ways to get catalysts. I'll teach you other ways to get them later. But your first 8 Blazing Rages, just grab them from this box. There are other ways to get them. It's fine. Doesn't really matter. You can find other ways. Maybe someone has another way to get them that you've heard. Go do that. But this will just complete that right away, and then you're done. Next up for that, the last mission is we need to clear Wyvern Hunt. Oh, wait, you need 10 of them. We need to go grab 2 more. My bad. But then we need to clear Hunt 10 times. You can clear Hunt 7 with your story team. Just go back in and go and do Hunt 10 times. You can either do that now or later, but that is one of the main things you need to be working on. Now go in and claim all your extra stuff to get for this. You'll get a bunch of extra stigma and sky stones, extra rewards. Grab all this. And the next thing we're going to be working on is going through more of those missions. And another thing that you can do from this portion, so let me give you a little bit of a checklist you can do. Go and clear 8-10, clear Labyrinth, clear 9-5. Do all of these missions all the way until you get up to those 3 connections. Those 3 connections you'll be stuck at. Whenever you do that, the next thing to do is go down into battle and do some spirit altars, okay? Go down, do your spirit altars, do up to maybe hard version of each of them. Once you get that done, you'll be able to promote or awaken all of your team, awaken your team as high as you can. Through doing that, maybe just 3-star awaken each character. That should be good enough. Once you're finished with that, the next thing you can do a little bit is go to Abyss. In Abyss, you can probably push up, let's say, push to stage 30. Push to stage 30 in Abyss. And once you have finished all of that, we will meet back here. I will show you my team, and we will then push up to the end of chapter 10, which is getting close to the end of this first episode of the guide. We're getting there. I'm going to see if there's anything else I need to cover. I know this is a lot. You don't have to finish this all in one day. These guides are built to be in parts or days. Days if you're super grinding. Parts if you are maybe a casual player, go through them slower. It's okay to go through it a bit slower. Our goals, though, are to finish chapter 10-10, reach at least rank 25 to get pets, and then get to the point where we can get to unrecorded history and start farming, and that's where we will farm for our stigma to start getting some progression on our account. Those are the overall goals. But go work on all those things I just told you, and I will meet you back here once you have finished those. Okay, now that you have gotten to the point where you've reached all the way up to this recruit 3 heroes through connections, go ahead and claim all your stuff. You are going to get a bunch of these materials. These materials are for level 70 gear. You don't want level, or there might be 55 gear. Either way, these materials don't really matter, and the game wants you now to craft 10 pieces of gear in the workshop. What we do for crafting 10 pieces of gear in the workshop, you also are going to have 4 Breath of Orbises if you're to this point. Where we're going to spend those as we go into the workshop, we're going to go ahead and skip the tutorial, and we're going to improve the building. This is going to be a 3-3-3. You need to max this out with your Breath of Orbises. So the first thing you want to do, obviously, you get this for free, and we're going to lower the gold cost for the first crafts that we're going to do. So the first thing is reducing gold cost. None of this gear that we're about to craft we're even going to look at. We're just going to immediately sell it. Any gear below T85, whenever you're doing any kind of crafting, is all garbage, but we do need to do these crafts for the mission, so we're going to go ahead and do that very quickly. The second thing you want to upgrade, it doesn't really matter. You're going to end up maxing this anyway, and anyone having connections to your server, you'll have that occasionally. That is a very normal thing. I don't know why I'm reading Twitch chat during guide video. Now, once you have that, go out to crafting, and you can go to Golem Challenge, and then Golem Challenge, you can just craft 10 necklaces. Go ahead, slam that, and don't even look at them. Just go ahead and click the arrange button here, highlight them all, and you're going to click sell. This is going to give you charm dust. Right side charm dust and right side charms are very hard to get as a new player. That is why we do that. It's not a lot, but every little bit adds up, and that finishes that challenge. What we're going to be working on next is going to be getting to the end. Obviously, we had this recruit 3 heroes through connections. I set you up for that. You have to wait. It's timered. There is a way that you can try to speed this up. That is getting to chapter 2 chapter 2 part 3 stage 10. Once you clear that, you can get Furious. Furious is really easy to get. If you want to speed this up, you can get Angelic and Furious. Or the end of this guide, though, the problem is I'm going to be ending before we get into chapter 2. It's up to you if you want to progress further. If you go into my live streams, you can see me do it and see exactly what I'm talking about. For this, if anything, you're going to have to wait till tomorrow. And by tomorrow, you'll probably already have this finished. So our goal now is to go and beat the boss of chapter 1. And beating the boss of chapter 1, let's go ahead and we're going to upgrade our characters a little bit. I did tell you to go ahead and you can work on some awakenings. I'm going to do that after. And the gear for this, you can put all of Spectre Tibria's gear to plus 12. The most important thing are the sword and boots, though, to plus 12. You should have plenty of charms to do all of this upgrading. And then once you go ahead and upgrade this to plus 12, go ahead and upgrade all that gear to plus 12. Your Destina, you might want to upgrade the boots to plus 9. This gear sucks. You don't want to upgrade it too far because we're going to be replacing her gear soon. The next highest thing is going to be helmet. Helmet gives 5 HP as the main stat, so you want to upgrade that. Our goal is to make our Destina just a slightly more tanky so we can survive through. Maybe give her a little bit more defense. So chest or flat defense. Give her a little bit more defense just to help us survive. Destina should just hard carry us to the next part that we're doing. Spectre Tibria, if you're not max leveled up, you can go ahead and level her up. Using your penguins to max level a character is perfectly fine to do versus farming to level them up. The trade-off of that is basically nothing in terms of your overall efficiency, because you will be farming for stigma, which you trade in for penguins, or you can farm with non-leveled up characters and level them up that way. The efficiency change, though, just use your penguins on your characters. We'll explain that once we get to that portion. And then Raz, we're going to go ahead and awaken Raz now. And awaken Raz up to at least 3-star. And once you have Raz awakened to 3-star, you don't need to upgrade his gear. If he just dies right away, it really doesn't matter. And then your Spectre Tibria, awaken her. So go do some Spirit Altars if you need to, and get all your characters at least 3-star awakened. You should only need to do Dark Spirit Altar to get Spectre Tibria. If you're using Arby, same thing. Build the characters the exact same way. If you're using any Tamarin, so you got Tamarin early, then you can go ahead and just build it the exact same as your Destina. All of this will be the same. Make sure you're using Free Spirit Chariot, though. She comes free at plus 15. One of the best characters you can utilize as a new player. And then Spectre Tibria for her awakenings. It looks like we have enough. And I'm going to go ahead and get to the final boss of chapter 1, which is stage 10-10. And I'm going to walk you through how to beat it. It should be very easy with all the gear that we currently have. And then I will come back once we get to that point. And then from there, there's a couple last things with the guide I will show. We're going to do our summons. So once you clear 10-10, you can do Moonlight summons. That's going to be exciting. Try to get Moonlight 5s. Those are the strongest characters in the game. We talked about Moonlight characters earlier, but we have a big event for Moonlights, which we'll go over, and I will see you all whenever we are about to fight the boss. But this is the overall team that we're going to be using. The area is going to be on this, and this should be plenty to beat it. It's a pretty easy fight as long as you know what you're doing. Now we are to stage 10-10. This is the final boss of the first chapter. This is where the game starts really unlocking, and you start being able to do a bunch of different kinds of content. We're going to go ahead and go in. I'm going to show you the strategy for beating this. All you have to do is attack the back orbs first. It's very, very simple, and you should be really strong at this point. It's going to be one of the first fights in the game you manual just to play it safe. You could probably auto it because our gear is so good. I think I kill the purple crystal first. I'm not sure which one's the actual crystal, but for this guide, I think we almost one-shot it. So as long as you kill the crystals first, you're going to beat this no problem. Just make sure to kill both of them as quickly as you can. So that gives the character immunity. So the purple one's a healing one. So the purple one's generally the one you kill first. Now, as you see, we've already killed both crystals. Almost. Now we've killed both crystals. This fight is such a joke at this point. That's funny. Once you kill both crystals, the boss is going to skill 3 and put some debuffs on you. This is why having Destina is nice. You can cleanse all these debuffs off and restabilize your team. And we'll beat it in the next 5 seconds probably. But after this, we get a bunch of Moonlight summons. We have the chance to get a bunch of cool stuff on our account if we get lucky. As you see right here, laying a bunch of debuffs, and this is the power of having a Soul Weaver on your account. Just click and remove all the debuffs and heal yourself. Soul Weavers are very, very nice when going through the game. Why wouldn't you want a robot? I don't know. Okay? I don't know. We're having some weird conversations during the stream. I'm sorry if it bleeds into the video at all. Now, alright, those stones are annoying. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to push up Tyria. I think Tyria has skill 3. Tyria's skill 3 should kill the boss from here. She does. And if this doesn't kill, then we have Soulburn and Spectenny. It did kill the boss. Okay, that's it. It's so easy now. It's unbelievable. With the free gear the game gives, They keep giving more and more free gear that's making all this PvE content so unbelievably easy. It's crazy. All right, I just sent an accidental friend request, but now we're to the cool part of the game, okay? Our next goals are going to be reach level 25. If you haven't done your 10 runs of Gablumo's treasure, you need to do that. Our overall next goal is get to 25. And the two things you can do is Gablumo's treasure, and then you can also go ahead and do the rest of your 8 wyvern runs to finish the hunt challenges. And that is going to be right here again. Those are two things you could do to try to level up your account. If you're still not ranked 25, we're going to be going into what is called unrecorded history. And this is going to be the next thing that we are grinding. Unrecorded history is just an extra part of the story. It's like hard mode version of the initial story. There's only 33 stages. It's very easy with the new gear as well. The hardest, you just basically do everything you just did, and it saw how easy it was for us the first time. Second time's almost just as easy. And this is where you're going to be getting a lot more Breath of Orbises to fill up your sanctuary. And you also get some sky stones from it. You get 800 sky stones. A lot of rewards here. So we're going to be grabbing all that. But your overall goal, you can clear some of these missions. Once you get to rank 25 is when I'm going to come back to the video. But before we go do any of that, I am going to go ahead and open the Epic Dash Pass. Any of you that are playing right now, you're going to be getting 5 of these summons every day. The sooner you get to beating 1010, the sooner you start doing these summons. And these summons, we hope we get a Moonlight 5, and if it sparks like that, that's guaranteed at least Moonlight 4. What is our BBK? Bloodblade Corinne. Bloodblade Corinne. Oh, this account's going to be juiced. All right, this is one of the strongest characters in the game. Probably the best Moonlight 4-star you can get. That's beautiful. The first summon is so good. Let's go, baby. And then you're most likely just going to get a bunch of 3-stars. There are only a couple Moonlight 3-stars that are good. None of these that we pulled, I think, are any worth looking at all. And there's the rest, or 3-stars. I don't care. We got Bloodblade Corinne. If you get a single Moonlight 5-star, and some of the 4-stars are good, but Bloodblade Corinne is that's the character I wanted the most on a new account. So I'm very, very happy with that. Now we can go in here, our weekly missions. We'll go ahead and claim this. And that puts us up to rank 17 for our Epic Dash Pass. Our goal is to keep doing our dailies and finish the last mission here, which uses 1,000 energy. We want to get to rank 35 because we get this selector and we get a maxed out selector. So you can pick 2 different characters in the game, and then you'll have them. One of them is going to be just maxed out skills, already level 60, perfectly ready for you to grind. We also have this right here. This is our 5-star hero ticket. Go ahead and grab it. And oh my god. Okay, so this account actually had a Janua on it because I rerolled. I did an 11-hour stream rerolled. I put my Janua in my waiting box so it wasn't in my thing. I wasn't going to use them, but now I can use them. That is probably the best case scenario thing that could have happened. Bloodblade Corinne first summon, Janua first ticket. That is hilarious. Those 2 characters are 2 of the best damage dealers in the game. There are a couple other good characters. I have some tier list up. I may update those tier lists in the next few days, just so you guys know what are going to be the good characters that you're getting to start getting into PvP. I don't usually value PvE units to make tier lists because as we're going through the game, everything that we're going to be doing can be beaten with these free characters I'm having you guys all get, and the next free characters we're going to be getting. The game for PvE is unbelievably easy, and taking extra characters for PvE is just kind of a quality of life update, or a kind of a quality of life, not update, but change for you. Things just become slightly easier, but it's already easy, so why do you need to make it easier? Certain characters we will need. We'll go over all of that as we're going through the guide. So now we need to go back into adventure and make sure you claim all your rewards from adventure. This is going to go ahead and show us the chapter 2 starting. We're not going to really mess with chapter 2. Again, though, you can go ahead and push through chapter 2 to stage, or here we go. If you want to try to push forward in the mission progress, if you go into chapter 2 and push all the way to part 3, the mining Arkan City, and beat all of those stages, you'll unlock the ability to get Furious from your connections. Getting Furious from your connections is going to allow you to finish the current mission that we are working on. As you see, we've already finished 6 dispatch missions for Lorena. With the 30-minute ones, you basically have to play, 10 hours? And you have to play about 10 hours of claiming the every 30 minutes. Is it 10 hours or 5 hours? It might be 5 hours of claiming the dispatch missions to finish that. if you're doing 30 minutes. Then after the 30 minutes, we will change those to either the 1 or the 2 or 4 hour missions. I didn't even go in and claim what I meant to claim there. So go back in and make sure you claim all your chapter rewards. You're going to be getting these gold transmit stones. So gold transmit stones you're going to be utilizing to get more Moonlight summons. You always take your gold transmit stones as a new player to go for more Moonlight summons. Even if you did pull an ML5 and you don't have many ML5s yet, you want to say you pulled Zeo or Bellion. You don't want to take these gold transmit stones and go buy their imprints. You would rather try to get more characters to upgrade your account. One imprint is nowhere near the value of getting a new super strong character on your account. Imprints are going to be for min-maxing later whenever you start utilizing those characters and have a very wide roster pool. Do not worry about trying to use these buy imprints on your characters early game. Now, the way you buy these is you go into the shop and you go to Transmit Stone, or you can click the book icon up here. Now go ahead and trade all your gold transmit stones in that you can. I could almost buy 3. We can only buy 2. So we have 3 Moonlight summons we could do right here. Let's go ahead and rip those for fun. And then after this, we're going to go boost our accounts to rank 25 through doing the things that I just showed you. Unrecorded history, finish your Wyvern 10 times, and then got blue mode, make sure you beat that 10 times. After that, I will show you what the next thing we could do, and then we are done with the first part of the guide. There's another Moonlight 4. Who else do we want? Angel of Angelica? Oh, that would have been so funny. That would have been so funny, man. Okay. Oh, all right. Arrowell, though? I'll take Arrowell. Phyllis, never mind. Okay. And Moonlight 5. No. It's a new character. AOL. What other 4-star do we want? Oh, it's Assassin Sid. Called it. There we go. All right. Assassin Sid. Not going to use them. It's fine. We're going to go ahead. We do have 2 more Mystic Medals. These came from an event. You guys may not have these. It's fine. I'm going to go ahead and rip them, though. Again, if there's a good character on Mystic Banner, just go ahead and summon on them. Your pity carries over. And if you're not at pity, you don't need to really stress about, should I summon on X character? The closer you get to pity, the better. Then maybe if there's a character you really, really want that you know is coming up, save your resources so that you can just pity when that character comes out. Now, but if the character's ever strong and you're not sure or really know much about the game, you can just summon on them. If you get them and you know or heard that they're strong, you'll eventually use them. But these are always, pretty much always going to just be PvP focused characters from Mystic Summons. All of that is done. What I'm going to do now again is go boost my account to rank 25. We unlock pets. I will show you what to do from the point that you have unlocked pets. I'll be back in a second. I've hit account rank 25. There's only a few things left. I know this video is long. I'm trying my best, but there are too many things to cover with the new update that all will be done within the first play session or within the first day of playing. Now, if you didn't get all this done the first day, it's not a problem. Honestly, the longer you take with the game, probably the better, because you get more play time out of it before you get to a point where you're out of stamina and everything. But the first thing we're going to do is go into pets. We're going to adopt our first pet. These are just random skills. Doesn't matter which one you pick. Just pick one you like the most. Doesn't matter at all. Now, pets are super, super important, but they're not the end-all, be-all. If you don't get the perfect pet, you should quit playing the game. This is actually not bad. It's at least both Spirit Altar, both B. I mean, it's always a B ranked on your skills. So how pets work is it allows you to auto-battle, and you have skills that give you extra bonuses. With these extra bonuses, it makes all your farming more efficient. But not by a lot, but over time it adds up to be insane. So the faster you get a good pet, the better. Now we're going to go into adopt. We get 1 free adoption ticket a day. And as you see, we just got enhancement good. This is for a lobby pet, but this is equipment enhanced good success chance. When you're upgrading gear and you get equipment enhanced good success proc, it gives it to where you get, I think, double EXP, and then there is great, which I believe gives triple XP. So you have a chance that any charm you feed in, you get double or triple the value of it. Something like that. I don't know the exact math, but they're both those are really good skills. That is our lobby pet. Now, we are going to go ahead and set him as our lobby pet. With your lobby pet, it gives you 1 item per day. You can click info. It's going to give you 1 of these items per day. Whenever you're in your main lobby, you just click it, or it's every 22 hours. You get any of these things. And then you have this effect always going. I will go over what the best pet skills are later, but for right now, I'm going to have you go for 1 specific pet. And if you get them, cool. If you don't, it's okay. Every single week, you have the ability to buy pet tickets with gold. I know this looks like a lot of gold. It used to not be too bad. We used to buy them all right away, but your account levels up so quickly, we would normally not to be to pets on the first episode of the guide. But our account's already ranked 25, so I might as well cover it before we end the video. Now, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to spend 2 million on this, but you are going to eventually end up buying this out every single week, because the sooner you get your pet, the more value you're going to get out of everything you do in the game. You have multiple pets. One is going to be for story. You're going to have a different pet for hunt. You're going to have a different pet for spirit altar. Then there's going to be a pet for rift. And then you have your lobby pet. Okay, 5 different core pets, I believe, maybe 6. You are going to end up needing a ton of grinding for pets. The main one you are looking for first is double AP pet. That is a moonlight pet, so you can get cool cosmetic pets. This is a cosmetic pet, and he's a D rank ability, but it's fine. I'm going to teach you how to upgrade your pets. You're going to be looking for anything with B or above skill, and we didn't really get anything here. If you didn't get any B or above adventure pet, you're not going to be too happy here. Okay, let me do one more 10 pull. Okay, please be double AP. No, I mean, that's fine. Okay, so your goal is to get a pet that has chance to get double AP, percentage chance to get double AP when doing story. Okay, that is the best first pet you can get. The other really good pet for the beginning of the game is going to be the pet that gives the chance for an extra catalyst drop when doing story. Your first pet is going to be a story farming pet, but as you see, we got nothing here. So there's nothing we can do. I will not show an in-depth pet guide right now. Maybe I will. Okay, so if you do get a decent pet that is AP or the extra catalyst, you can go ahead and level up one of your pets. This one is the one I'm going to level, even though it doesn't have the ability we want. We go ahead and we release auto select any pet that is C rank or D rank. Maybe you got a B rank pet, but I would never try to actually use a C or D rank to farm with. So I'm going to go ahead and release these. These are going to give us the currency, which are called crystal of memories. This is how you level up your pets. This is how you use just general promotion for pets. Now I'm going to go in, I'm going to upgrade this guy, click auto select to level him up, take 6 of them, he goes to level 10. Now there is synthesizing. We're going to go ahead and synthesize him, and we're going to go ahead and put the moonlight pet into him. Whenever, and you can just do any pet that's level 1 that is a low rank ability. I'm going to go ahead and you select the appearance. So if you ever get a moonlight pet, you want to keep that moonlight pet because it looks cool. You can click select appearance and it will keep that pet, and you can change the skills. Now you go to select skills to inherit. You want to take whatever the best skill is. Hopefully you got one of those that I just talked about, and you can go ahead and claim it here. And then whenever you go down to the bottom, you need to put extra crystal memories in so that when you synthesize them, has a chance to go to a higher star pet. As you see, these are 1-star pets, and the game gives you a 3-star pet to start with. Click synthesize, and then there we go. Whenever you synthesize, you're going to be getting the chance at new abilities. So if you miss out on the skill that you want, you can synthesize and not click any skill and just get random skills to hope that you get the skill you want. Again, this is just a sloppy draft of the pet guide. I will go over a more in-depth pet guide later. This was just to try to see if you can get that pet. If you didn't get it, it's going to be fine. I'm just going to use this pet for everything, even though it is spirit altar. As soon as we can go and get the actual good pet, we will. There is a pack in the game you could buy. It's probably the best $5 you can spend. Oops, I need to click close. There's also this pack would get you everything you need, but if you're free to play player, just ignore this part. But one of the best $5 you can spend in the game is going to be in pack, and then you're going to scroll down, and it's going to be this little $5 pet support pack. You get 100 sky stones and you get this little panda. They sell this to new players because this is the best first pet you can get. Receive double AP S rank. That makes it to where as long as you're farming, you're going to just be getting continuous faster progression on a lot of the story missions that you're doing, and you get AP, which I'm going to be going over soon with the unrecorded history farming that we're going to be doing. That's one of the next things I'm going to talk about before we end this guide. But this pet is one of the best value packs you can get. So if you want to spend $5, support Epic 7, you can buy this pack, and then you have the pet. Okay, his name is Pando, excuse you, whatever his name is. But that is pet farming. Now, whenever you want to auto battle, you can go ahead in and set the pet to your team. You can click here, and then you set whatever pet. We're going to go ahead and set him, or we could set this. This one is, as you see, hunt pet. This is what we're going to be aiming for, and this one would be for farming runes. But that you can use them to farm anything. You just won't get the bonuses if you're not farming what the bonuses would be giving. So you set them to your team, and then if you were to go into farm a stage, let's go ahead and we'll not do side story. Let's go in and do an Wyvern run. Let's just go to Wyvern, okay? So once we're here, let's click Wyvern 8. And then whenever you want to do auto battle, you have this option down here. Depending on the level of your pet is going to be how many auto battles you get. This is a level 3 pet, meaning we get 15. Level 4 pet, we get 20. A level 5 pet, we get 30. 5-star pets are the max, and 5-star pets take a long time to get. And this is one of the greatest things in the game, though, because you can set it to farm, and then you can click minimize, and you can always be farming while you're doing anything else on the game. Amazing. It's one of the greatest updates to ever happen to E7. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. If you ever cancel a stage, you don't lose your stamina. There's no reason to worry about ever failing a stage or anything in E7. You never lose your currency. The only time you do is Rift. Rift is the only kind of game mode in the game that will punish you for failing a run. Now try that in Rift. Okay. That is going to be the pet portion. There are 2 more things I'll cover. I'll come back in just a second to cover the last things, and then we are done for the day. And I will tell you at the very end what to work on or what to farm while you're waiting for the next episode of the guide if you are already caught up to this point. We are finally to the last 2 portions of the guide. Now, the first thing I want you guys to do is make sure you farmed your 10 golems. I've already said that, but go in and do your 10 golems. So this golem gear, I'm on the next day, but the golem gear is going to potentially be really, really nice for you. You just want to farm the 10 and then stop from there. But if you get any pieces of gear that look like your other gear, okay, that's the best way I can describe it for right now. If you're ever curious on your golem gear, you can post it in Discord and ask should I roll this. But golem gear and goblin gear. Oh, sorry, I mean goblin gear for all this. Okay, so now that you have gotten to the point where you need to go in and make sure you've done your 10 goblin for the day. And now we have some goblin gear. This gear takes nothing to upgrade and has very strong stats. It takes, I think, 10% of a normal piece of gear to max upgrade. It's going to be challenging for a lot of you. You won't know what gear is good and what gear is not. If you're curious on any of the pieces, you can post them in Discord and see if somebody says it's worth upgrading. The best thing I could say is if that gear looks like any of your other gear, so this is an HP set piece, and it has HP, health, and you'd want defense and effect resist because this is for like a Soul Weaver style tanky character. If you get any pieces that look like that, so here's one, I have defense, health, and speed, you can just max upgrade it. If you look here, max upgrading this piece of gear takes this many charms to go all the way to plus 15 and get max value out of it. Whereas if I were to upgrade, let's just say even the chest right here from plus 12 to plus 15, it takes so many more charms just for those couple levels. But any gear you get that looks like it'll be okay, or if you're curious on it, you can ask and see if it'd be okay. But this gear is very, very nice for getting through the game. This is definitely a piece we're going to upgrade. And looking at this, it overall rolled what would be considered pretty bad, but this piece is amazing for a beginning player to stabilize their account. And we're going to take that piece and put it on our Destina or our Raz. And it's a free piece of gear that already is max upgraded for almost nothing and doesn't have any wasted stats. And to go through like this piece of gear, it looks insane. And we go in and try to max upgrade it, see what it ended up going. These can go all the way up to, that's not bad. Actually, this is pretty good, 83 for a goblin piece of gear. A free piece of gear, no wasted substats, 83 equipment score is very solid, okay? This is perfect for all PvE content. Whenever you get into PvP, you're not going to want to use this, but if you have to, it's fine. Then you can get better pieces later. This is why I don't want you to farm Goblin too much, is because the gear cannot roll very high. And a really good piece of equipment score would be like 95 to 100, and an absolute crazy equipment score piece would be above 100. That's how equipment score works. You don't have to be super picky about equipment score at the beginning of the game. It's mostly going to be about the overall stats that the piece has. As long as it doesn't have wasted stats, it's going to be very, very good for you. Now that we have upgraded that piece of gear, if you have any of the gear that looks like it'll be good on a character, like this is definitely going to be better on Destina, go ahead and put it on her. And we are going to upgrade Destina's gear a little bit, and then we are going to go work on side stories, and I will teach you about that real quick. Now we're going to upgrade the helmet to plus 12 just to get a little bit more health, and we'll just upgrade this to plus 12. Takes a little bit of charms, and this is semi-wasteful, but at least we can clear the next part, and then we're going to end up getting a piece of gear or a gear set that we will put on the Stina here soon that will be very good. So again, make sure you have finished up your Hunt Challenge Wyvern quest. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll go over the part for what this all is at the last little recording section. But what I want you to do now is go into side story, and I want you to activate the Melody of Stars side story. You can go into the Oasis Land side story as well. Go through this. Spend your stamina to claim every single one of these rewards. These rewards are very nice. And then before you do that, I would like you to finish a hunt challenge though before you go claim all that stuff, because some of it will count as a couple of missions on the hunt challenge. And then for the Melody of Stars, you want to start this. On the Melody of Stars, it's going to give you quests that you are not sure what you want to do. If there's a different side story when you start, just go ahead and do that one, whatever the different side story is. They're all pretty self-explanatory. So this one has mission goals. This is a complete arena battle 5 times. That's pretty easy. We can do that. This one's clear Wyvern Hunt 4 times. We're going to go ahead and change that until we get one that looks good. That would be easy to complete. So this is 100 energy. Usually what I try to do is refresh until I get something that looks like we could complete it with our normal adventure clearing, which is going to be open chest. This one's obtain 10 weapons. You're going to get weapon drops. This will take a little bit, but this is the kind of style of one you could use. Another one would be this clear 10 hunt. We don't really want to do that quite yet, potentially, unless you are clearing wyverns. So that clear wyvern one we could have done. This is get 10 armor. You only get 10 free changes. But overall, the easiest one to always do is just using your stamina or energy. You're going to be using a ton of it. That's the Melody of Stars. And then once you complete it, you'll be able to grab this and grab another reward. Make sure you get all the stuff. The rewards are very good. Next up, we have our side stories. Side stories are a very important part of the game. I want you to go ahead and go through and fully clear the side story. It does get a little challenging. That's why I wanted you to upgrade your Destina's gear a little bit. So go through, complete all of this, and then make sure you complete the Mullah stage, complete the Goblin stage. And from there, I want you to exchange for the Mologora and if you can, exchange for Mologora and the Covenant bookmark. You'll get all the rewards down here at the side, and side stories are a very big part of the game, but the other rewards you don't need to worry about. That's for all side stories. Make sure to always get the bookmarks and always get the Mologora, 2 most priority things that you could possibly do. Now, if you need to farm more, you can go in and do more missions of easy. This normal one might be too hard for you, but you can farm a little bit more currency to clear out that. You could skip this if you want and just go start a different side story, but to be max efficient, go in and do this. And then we're going to be starting another banner after this. I'm going to give you a couple options. You don't have to do it. It's a complete optional part of the guide to do the other thing, but this is where if you want to do some summons, I'm going to give you a couple characters that you could do some summons on. Now, let me go ahead and do all the things I just told you, clearing the wyvern, finishing all this, and then we will come in for the final portion of the first day of the guide. Okay, now that we have finished all of the side story here, I want you guys to go ahead and go into click start a different side story and start a different side story. This is going to be an optional thing. Some of you guys may have already gotten X character, X thing. You don't have to summon at any portion right now. You could save all your resources. That's probably what most people tell you to do because we have so many selectors. But I want us to summon. I'm going to be summoning on Asaria. I want us to be able to get some of the 3 stars in case we don't have them for the guide. If you guys want to take this differently and make a different decision here, it'll be fine. We don't need to be utilizing these characters. But if you're going to be following along exactly as I do, I'm going to be grabbing Asaria. The reason we're doing an Asaria banner, yes, there is an Asaria banner going right now, but that one ends in a couple hours. This allows us to have 7 days to summon on the character. But if you do want to do some summons, say maybe you already have Asaria, the reason we're summoning Asaria is she's just a good character, plus her artifact is really good and will help us with consistency for some of our PvE teams, mainly Wyvern. But the main side stories that you can do are going to be the Asaria one, and if you scroll down, you can do the Celine one, getting the Celine banner. If you want to do some summons, you can summon on her. If you pull her, we're going to be getting her from our first maxed out selector, but if you pull a copy of her, that will be an imprint for her. And if you pull any artifacts, that's just a great thing too. So Celine would be very good, but my number 1 pick would be Janua. Also, you could go for Janua's side story. We're likely getting a banner for him in 2 weeks anyway, but doing Janua's side story is not bad. Now, whichever side story you pick, fine. Again, you don't have to pick any, but I'm going to go ahead and pick Asaria's side story and then start it. Now, with the side story, these have a 2-week cooldown period that you can change and go do another character, and you're going to be getting a currency to where you can open a banner called Story Summon. go ahead and go farm through all of this and go to exchange. Once you go to exchange, you again are going to mostly buy the Mologora, and then you're going to buy the Covenant bookmarks. From there, you have the option, you can keep farming the stages to buy this. You can buy the catalyst, you can buy any of this within here. The artifact charms are actually really great value. The equipment charms are fine. You buy whatever you want out of here, it's great. But I personally just usually buy the bookmarks, and then I'll buy the Mologora. Those are the two most important things. So go ahead and farm through that. But I'm going to go and now show you how to do the story summon. If any of you are going to follow directly along with me, go ahead and go into your summon now, and then go down to story summon. Once you get to story summon, you're going to want to select a hero, and then whatever character you have done the side story, or at least started the side story on, you can summon that character. The first one you do is free. Okay, so this one's going to be free. After that, it takes 4 of this currency to do a single story. So if you do a Saria or whatever character you want to do now, you won't be able to do another story summon for a while. It'll take you probably about a month to get enough of the currency past this. So I'm going to go ahead and start her banner, and I'm going to go ahead and summon on her. Yes, we're probably going to get a duplicate of Saria at some point, but that's fine. The main reason we're summoning here is for 3 stars to make sure we have Wyvern damage dealer. Our main goal is to get the character called Mui. And again, if you already have Mui, then maybe you just want to skip this and not do any summons and save your resources. I do not blame you at all. I already have him on this account, but I'm just going to do this because most people are probably going to be missing him. But this is Mui. He's going to be a key character in our permanent Wyvern team to set up. He's if he is the best Wyvern character you could possibly get, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and just rip our summons. Our goal is to make sure that we get the character before the end of her banner period. If we get the character, we just stop. We didn't get her artifact, it's fine. We won't care, but let's go ahead and just rip our summons. So the first one, we did get something. Hopefully we got Song of Stars here. We did. Okay, we got Song of Stars, so that's one of our main goals. And then we look here and see if you got Mui or Alexa. Either one would be fantastic. But we got Song of Stars, so we'll keep summoning for the character. Anytime I open a banner, I make sure I finish the character, even if we go all the way to pity. So still nothing there. If we get multiple copies of the artifact along the way, that's fine. And if we don't get the character, that's fine too. But every single time that you do a summon, you still have that chance to get Mui if you don't already have him. And that is overall great. So that'll just be what I do for now, just the 3 first summons. But I will end up pitying this banner as we go through the guide videos. Anytime I get some summons, I'll put them down here. Again, try not to spend your Sky Stones on anything. We are going to be trying to save every single Sky Stone. We're just going to be passively summoning on the banner because you get enough free bookmarks to pity multiple characters, up to 2 to 3 characters just through the first couple of weeks of playing the game. Now, whenever you hit, I believe it's level 25, you have the secret shop. If you're ever going to spend bookmarks, spend Sky Stones, this is probably the best place to spend them in the entire game, and I will explain why real quick. We have go ahead and level it up. No matter what, it doesn't matter what level your secret shop is in terms of getting bookmarks and spending your Sky Stones. The higher level it is, you have a tiny chance to get gear. We could refresh 3,000 at the highest level though and not see a single piece of gear worth getting. But just level it up every time you get it. It gives you a free refresh too. And now this is how you spend Sky Stones for summons. Instead of just buying summons directly with Sky Stones, spend 950 for 10. You'll come in here and you'll click. You'll just keep refreshing. You don't want to do this early game. Again, like I said, I want you to spend as few Sky Stones as possible. I'm just teaching you what the most efficient way to get summons is with spending Sky Stones. The reason you refresh this is Mystic Metals. Mystic Metals are very hard to get. This is how you get the strongest characters in the game. And if you don't shop refresh your resources, your Mystic Metal gain per month is abysmal. Okay, you'll get your Guild War Mystic Metals. You get your Guild or Mystic Metals from farming hunts. But past that, you're not getting any. Okay, this is where you get most of your Mystic Metals as a free-to-play player. This is 1000% worth doing. It's very tedious, but the overall rates for bookmarks for 950 Sky Stones is going to be about 11 Covenant bookmarks. So there's one right there. Go ahead and buy it. And that is the overall why we do it, is the Mystic Metals, and it does cost gold, but I'm going to be showing you guys how to farm gold here in a second. So now that I got that summon, we have another 10 summon. Let's just go ahead. It doesn't matter whether you do 10 summon or single summon. If you do single summon, it's more efficient. Takes longer, but that way if you get the character, you just stop immediately. We want to make sure we don't summon on the wrong Asaria banner though. I almost just clicked it. Make sure you're summoning on your story summon banner. They're 2 different banners with 2 different pity counts. I explained pity count earlier in the video, but let's go ahead and summon on our story summon now. And looks like we still didn't get her, but as you see right here, we did just get a Mui. So maybe if you didn't have Mui already, this will help you get the Mui that we are trying to get so that we can build our first Wyvern team. If you don't get them, it's fine. We'll build a placeholder character, hopefully a 3-star. That's usually Alexa. And from there, we'll eventually switch it out once we do get a Mui. Okay, that is all that I have for this little section. One last thing that you could be working on, again, go finish your Wyvern challenge, and then I'm gonna show what is called unrecorded history to give you something to work on in case you're ahead of me until we get to the part 2 of the guide, which will come out either late tonight or tomorrow around the same time that this one is dropping. I'm grinding through this. I can make multiple in one day, so I will get a little ahead, but for right now, I'm trying to play the other account to make sure we make no mistakes going through this one. We have reached the end of day 1, everybody. So the last things I want you to do, if you may have already finished this, but go in and claim your cigarette. So for the first hunt challenge, you're going to be getting your free cigarette. This is the best damage there for Wyvern. There's a couple other PV use cases for her. Fantastic character to get. I'm sorry this video took so long. So from here, we're going to be getting some insane rewards. This HP set is something that we want to be striving for as fast as possible. We're just buying epic catalyst from a recorded history. That's the final thing I'm going to show you. All these missions you can kind of mess with, but this also has acquire epic spirit blooms. Now that you've opened this, you can go watch all the side story things from the Frida event, if that's even still there. If that's not still there, there's only like 2 in there. So don't worry about it if you're starting the game after the Frida banner is gone. But once you get cigarette, you'll come in here, claim it. You get 6 Daydream Jokers. This is a best in slot artifact for a lot of PvE. It's a 3-star artifact. What I want you to do from here is go in to your artifacts, and I want you to go down and lock 3 separate Daydream Jokers. So 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to be maxing out you're going to be feeding 5 copies to each one as you get them. So the first one, let's go ahead and feed 5 into it. And you don't need to level it up or anything for right now. Again, artifact charms are hard. If you don't know what artifacts to be leveling, don't level any of them. And we'll feed the other 2 to this just to make our inventory space. Again, you can sell any 3-star artifacts outside of Exorcist Tonfa and your Daydream Jokers. So just boost up 1 Exorcist Tonfa. We may never use this, but it's really the only 3-star artifact that we may end up wanting to use. So now once you do this, you can just go in, select all your 3-star artifacts, sell them, create some inventory for yourself. This is called Powder of Knowledge. This is how you buy other artifacts from the shop, and you can buy charms and things from that as well. But now we've done that, we're back down to a clean inventory. We have no 5-star. Okay, never mind. No, we have no 5-star artifacts, but save 1 copy of each 4-star artifact as well. And Taiga Hells, Aureus. So this Taiga Hells here, we can go ahead and feed this Taiga Hells into our other one. You want to end up with as many max Taiga Hells as possible. This is the most important artifact to try to save if you do see it. And then Aureus is going to be the second most important one. And then third, if you have Wondrous Potion Vial, save that. But just try to save 1 of every single 4-star artifact other than those 3. So Hit Leg Lance will save 1, and then the other ones, if we actually absolutely want to, we could sell. Depends on how you want to get into it. I'll probably sell them. We'll keep 1 Sepulchrum. And then if you find that you're going to be using this artifact, then if you did sell them, you'll just have to make sure that when you see that you pulled them, then you need to feed it into your 1 copy to max it out. But for right now, we'll decide as we're going through the game which artifacts we'll be kind of prioritizing. And the powder that you get from this is really nice because buying those 5-star artifacts is a much larger power boost than getting 4-star artifacts on your characters most of the time. Tag Hells is one of the main exceptions to that, though. So that is the portion of all of this. You're gonna, with your cigarette, we're not going to touch her until tomorrow. I'll show you guys a little bit of things to work on with her. But another common practice to get into is go in and lock all your characters. Also lock 1 of each 3-star character and feed your duplicate characters into the locked version. So you want to keep 1 of every character and then imprint them from there. You get spirit blooms out of it, so you can make 6 stars more efficiently. And right here, we'll go ahead and do this. But go through your inventory, clean that up, make sure you have 1 locked version of each character. If you ever have 5-star characters that you're unsure of, then just hold on to them for now. Your inventory may get a little cluttered, so biggest thing is if you have some 5-star character duplicates that you aren't sure what to do, go to your waiting room and slap them in here just so that they're waiting. Next up, the final thing for this guide to work on is going to be go into side story, go into unrecorded history, and we want to farm AP. So go in, you can clear as far as your team will allow you in this, and once you start getting stuck, then let me know. One thing too is there's a certain mission you have to scroll down to this down here. It'll be confusing. Once you get to stage 7, 8, and 9, have all this cleared, you'll be stuck. You'll be like, where do I go? You need to scroll all the way down to here. I got confused on it, but scroll down and do the Mercenary District, and then that'll open up stage 10. Okay. Now, going through unrecorded history, every time you clear a stage, you're going to be getting AP. Our goal is to try to get 800 AP, which we're going to need way more than that. This is something you'll be farming the rest of your life as an E7 player. But our goal is to buy 2 Epic Catalysts, and I always buy Fused Nerves because we're going to use that on our Spectre Tenebria. If you decide to use Arbiter Vildred, buy the Blazing Souls because this is for Arbiter Vildred. Or I believe that's for Arbiter Vildred. Check and make sure in his Awakenings, but that is likely 90% sure that's what you buy. Now, once you get stuck going through this, our goal is to eventually farm stage 30. Okay, this is the fastest, most efficient thing that we can farm in terms of stamina gain. I'll explain all this as we go. But your goal is to get as much stigma. Sorry, you want to get as much stigma gain as possible going through these missions now, or going through these stages. And that is based off your EXP going into the fight. So as you see here, we have our 4 characters and we have our auto battle. Once you get to a point where you're stuck, go to stage 5. It is the fastest clear time, and we have a chance to get an Epic Catalyst. Those Epic Catalysts we can trade in if we don't need the specific one, but any stage that has an Epic Catalyst drop that is fast to farm is nice. Stage 30 does not have an Epic Catalyst drop, but you get more EXP overall, meaning you get more stigma, meaning you get more overall currency of every kind. Now, as you farm, whenever all your characters are max level, you get EXP overflow that turns into stigma. So you will get a couple thousand stigma every time you do a 15 run with whatever pet, or if you did get an AP pet. This is why we wanted to get an AP pet or a Catalyst drop pet, or both, to farm this, so that as you're farming, you get more AP. You have the chance to get double AP every time that you clear the stage. And as you farm it, you'll get that extra stigma. This is where we spend the stigma, guys. The reason we're doing it is you go into Sanctuary. The reason I had you 3-1-3 your Force of Souls is this is where you are going to be buying. Number 1, you're going to be buying your Spirit Blooms, okay? That's how you're going to make a bunch of 6 stars. Second, you're going to buy Penguins from this, okay? As you farm Stigma, you're going to get to a point where you can farm millions of gold per hour. Millions per hour. It'll be very, very fast. You will take this, you'll turn it into Penguins. That's why we wanted all of that boosted. You see, these are the Penguins here. Whenever you go into your inventory, you go to Enhancement Ingredients and you click Arrange. You click on that, and then you can sell them. So as you see, 10 big penguins is worth 500,000 gold. And it's only 1,000 stigma. You can get the big penguins at a higher percentage chance with the upgrade. And you can sell your other penguins too, where you're going to end up selling all of them. But this is how you will farm gold. And you will need to farm a ton of unrecorded history. One other benefit of farming unrecorded history is as you farm unrecorded history, it will drop this T44 gear, and it will drop charms for your swords, helmets, chest, and boots. Those are all, charms are very important. You're going to always need charms upgraded gear. And then it'll drop this gear. You will sell the gear for charm powder, okay? And you'll also get some gold out of it. So this charm powder is basically the same as having a charm. And the more you farm, the more overall powder and enhancement equipment or material you're going to have to boost up your account strength. So farming unrecorded history, the reason we do it, you can get extra gold from it. It's a gold farming system. It is the promotion character system. It is the catalyst gathering system. So it's all character promotions. And then it is your gear upgrade system for everything but your right side charms. Now, the final things I want you to do, start farming unrecorded history. If you're ever confused, just go to stage 5 of unrecorded history and start farming it. When you get stronger and can do stage 30, go to stage 30 and farm that. Next, I want you to go into your battle, and I want you to make sure that you have done your Labyrinth. So you want your Labyrinth tokens under 5 before daily reset. And just go in, same story clearing team for now. Keep pushing as far into Labyrinth. Try to beat the boss of each stage to get to the next one. We are going to spend all our Labyrinth tokens for the first probably month, getting all the way up to Malekith's Consciousness. We are going to open this as Labyrinth. We'll talk about it later. But we will not be trying to focus this early on because the Malekith's Consciousness gear is going to be overall better for a new player because it gives full sets that you can just go ahead and equip and help you get into PvP. Okay, so your goal is clear all Tyrell Castle, clear Great Farchi Labyrinth. Then Nixie's Sanctum does get a little bit harder. It's a lot bigger. It takes you a ton of entries per single stage to clear. And Malekith's is the same as Nixie's. But we will probably end up clearing all of this within about 3 weeks to 4 weeks. Okay, that is one important thing. Another thing you could do is clear up your Abyss. go in here, hit auto until you end up failing a stage. If you fail a stage, that means you go out, farm unrecorded history, so we can start boosting up our characters. That is the first episode of the guide. I'm sorry this took so long. I'm grinding. I'm trying my best to create a step-by-step way to go through with this new event and still be efficient and get everything possible. I'm coming up with a strategy. I'm 2 days back on this, but now I can start cranking out the episodes and hopefully catch up to where you guys are if you've already started. If you made any different decisions than I have, just as long as you're going through and clearing the things that I'm clearing in terms of the hunt challenges, the story, the abyss, as long as you're doing those steps still, even if you selected different characters or different things like that, your account is fine. You don't need to restart for any reason. Shouldn't have said that at the end of the video, but either way, I will see you all in the next episode, part 2 of the guide, and I promise it will be much shorter than this one. Have a good day.